in exchange for appointing them as auxiliary sheriffs. 4 D.C. men are in jail after a stolen car caper in Frederick County that resulted in 2 crashes and an injured sheriff's deputy.
This all happened in the dead of night early Sunday morning in Newmarket. The county sheriff's office says a deputy tried to stop several people suspected of tampering with vehicles. When they took off in a pair of cars, the deputy gave chase and one of the cars crashed into a tree. The deputy crashed as well, disabling his cruiser and also the deputy with minor injuries. The second fleeing car struck a parked patrol cruiser just seconds after the deputy in that car had jumped out. The suspects, all from D.C., between the ages of 18 and 21, collectively face a panoply of theft and traffic charges. John Matthews on WMAL and WMAL.com.
President Trump honoring the nation's fallen at the 157th National Memorial Day's observance at Arlington National Cemetery today. First, laying a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier, then speaking at the Memorial Amphitheater.
This Memorial Day is especially significant as we commemorate 250 years since the first American patriots fell on the field of battle.
At Lexington Green, Bunker Hill, and Concord Bridge, about 450,000 people are laid to rest at Arlington. And the nation's capital is the place to be for Memorial Day, from the marble monuments to solemn wreath laying at Arlington to the National Memorial Day Parade.
High school bands, military units, and war veterans all marching down Constitution Avenue, kicked off by actor Gary Sinise.
We can never forget the sacrifices that have kept us free all these years.
Today's parade is the largest Memorial Day event in the country. Barbara Britt, WMAL and WMAL.com.
Traffic and weather next.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you got to hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflush.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe, and then it spread and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflush.com. It was the only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflush.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free, so you have nothing to lose. But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflush.com.
Here's Eric Smith in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
Traffic continues to struggle on the northbound Baltimore-Washington Parkway. It looks like a crash past Powder Mill Road with a significant jam getting out of Greenbelt. The Capitol Beltway nearby is not too bad. Southbound 95 is a bit slow in Beltsville to the Capitol Beltway. And you do have traffic still just a bit busy northbound off the 14th Street Bridge onto the freeway in the district, as things have cleared off the National Mall from the Memorial Day Parade. This is looking a lot better and better. Outbound Suitland Parkway still has crash cleanup at Stanton Road with a slight jam. Now from the GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Storm Watch 7 forecast.
Nice weather continues this evening. We trend dry, partly to mostly cloudy skies overnight, 48 to 55 by early tomorrow morning.
7 News Chief Meteorologist Steve Rudin. Right now, 72 degrees in Washington. I'm Heather Curtis on WMAL.
Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. Mark Levin.
This is the best of the Mark Levin Show, where we honor our fallen heroes on this Memorial Day and every day. Hello, America. Mark Levin here. Our number, 877-381-3811, 877-381-3811. I want to thank Larry O'Connor. Isn't he great? All our guys are great. I'm in a good mood today. I don't have the foggiest idea why. It's sunny out. It's very comfortable, a little breezy, Mr. Producer, so the air can go through my non-hair. It's really unbelievable. And there is a lot to get to. We'll discuss somewhat Joe Biden, although they're beating it to death in the media. I think the Supreme Court ruling is worth discussing with you because it's important. The court is a mixed bag lately. Last Friday it was a disaster, 7-2. Then today, in an opinion that it didn't write, just an order, it was 8-1. Well, again, I'll get into that with Jackson. I hope you were able to see my show on Fox on Saturday and Sunday. But there's a lot going on, actually, a whole lot. And we're going to get to a lot of it. But I got to thinking about something. We do things a little differently here. We dig and we think and we play and we think. So I'm thinking to myself, as I watch these TV shows, not a lot, some, and I watch all these spinning when it comes to those who are saying, well, if we only knew about Biden, and they knew about Biden, and then there's more debate over the cancer issue and so forth and so on, how irrelevant it all is to most of our lives. Now, we're curious. I'm curious. We'll look at it, but it's a drumbeat. One day it's something, one day it's another. Now I got to thinking, I'm watching clips. Mr. Producer put some clips together, some very nasty Democrats saying very nasty things about President Trump, about our country, just horrendous. Folks, language is an important thing. We've talked somewhat about this before, and I've taken a look at this issue of language. And all weekend long, particularly on these so-called Sunday news shows, it's negative language, negative language, negative language. I've divided language into negative language and positive language. Things are uplifting, concepts that are positive, words and terms and phrases that promote free societies, free speech, healthy dialogue, and then the opposite. Sloganeering, name calling, which are all intended to shut you down and shut me down. And you hear it all the time. So I think it deserves a very careful look. You and me together. So in chapter 4 of On Power, not on drugs, I've never done drugs, on power, we look at language. Now again, I'm not going to read the whole book, but I want to give you a flavor for this because I think you're going to find this intriguing. And after all, it was written for you. An author writes a book for the audience. They don't write it for themselves unless they're egomaniacs like, Jake Tapper. I don't write autobiographies. We have people who are 12 years old. They're writing memoirs about themselves. Have you noticed that, Mr. Producer? Like I care. That'll never happen with me. I won't do that. Or self-help books, like they know anything about self-help. I write about topics that interest me, I feel are compelling to you, that might interest you. It helps break down what's taking place in our society. And so I point out there are endless treatises, ancient and new, on rhetoric and dialectic approaches to thought and communication. And rather than get into long and largely esoteric inquiries and the history of both, although I personally find it fascinating, but that's me, it's more useful for the purpose of this book on power to evaluate language as it applies to the present day applications of negative and positive power. Remember, negative power is largely coercive power. Now, in Marxist and Islamist regimes and regimes of that sort, totalitarian regimes, negative power can turn into genocide. As opposed to positive power is based on the Judeo-Christian heritage, the promotion of individual liberty, unalienable rights, free will, and those things that make a successful and happy and prosperous human being. Language has many purposes, of course, but at its core, language is about what? Communication. There are many types of communication and many purposes for it. And so I organize them into two basic categories, the power of language and the power over language. The power of language and the power over language. Again, this distinction has been discussed over the ages and even in recent times in an infinite number of ways, but I shall use them here to make certain fundamental points, understanding that they're distinguishable in significant ways. That's power of language and power over language. The pursuit and maintenance of negative power requires the utilization of negative techniques of communication, including what? Manipulation, deception, repetition, deceit, concealment, distraction, and fear-mongering, and language that is intimidating, self-serving, and orchestrated. And I got to thinking, isn't that what the Sunday shows are, America? When you have the likes of Chris Murphy of Connecticut out there, and AOC, and Bernie Sanders, and the rest, isn't that what that's about? It's an approach that seeks to arouse prejudices and stifle independent thought. The purpose is to exert power over language and to control the population without moral reservations. In fact, morality itself is said to be relative or nothing but an abstraction, concealing the rot of open societies and democracies and obfuscating and exploiting the people. Now, in the political context, when language is applied this way, in service to the demagogue and his aim.
I hate that when that happens. So for some reason they pause. All of a sudden there's silence. Hi, Doug.
Therefore, is corrupt.
Pretty quiet over here. Everybody's at JC's playing tiddlywinks. I'm listening to this. Smoking a joint.
You hear the protesters or even demand.
I had good company earlier.
Believing
that was fun.
No other course, or that it is the best course until it's too late. The reverse course, without an abrupt and often violent revolution. And for many, suffering persists for an extended period of time. So, for example, prior to the Russian Revolution, is this boring you, Mr. Producer? Mr. Producer loves this stuff, and I'm glad he does. Britannica finds that in Vladimir Lenin's 1902 pamphlet, What is to be Done? And I own one of those pamphlets.
Yeah, I heard you talk about your travels. Stay safe. Good. You're still alive. Don't crash.
Propagandist, whose primary medium is print,
please,
explains the causes of social inequities. There's the word, inequities, such as unemployment or hunger. While the agitator, whose primary medium is speech,
I've done all my traveling. I don't feel like traveling.
These issues to arouse his audience to indignation or action.
I could travel if I wanted to.
Agitation is thus, writes Lenin, the use of political slogans and half-truths. You know, like, Warmonger, Hitler, half-truths, slogans, half-truths, outright lies to exploit the grievances of the public and thereby mold public opinion, immobilize public support. Propaganda, by contrast, is the reasoned use, says Lenin, of historical and scientific arguments to indoctrinate the educated and so-called enlightened members of society, such as party members. So he's saying, look, we got to use propaganda against our own people so they see things the way we do. And then we have to use slogans, grievances to get the masses on our side. Well, let me ask you something. On these budget talks right now, who keeps it? The billionaires. You're taking money
the
from
billionaires. Bernie Sanders. The billionaires don't pay their fair share. The billionaires.
Really are.
The rich don't pay their fair share. The billionaires.
Marxism. A tailored, customized form of Marxism for American consumption. They really are that.
Hey, what's up, Billy?
Hey, let me turn this down. Say, yeah, you're at the Denver airport. Where are you heading to?
Jackson, Wyoming. Jackson. I'm coming from Minnesota, going to Wyoming.
So
my daughter's graduated, so I've been in Minnesota. Now I'm going up to see my first wife and our two kids. I've just been to the second wife with the 3 kids. And I'm going to see the first
Well,
one.
you got at your age, you got some young kids then.
Yeah. The youngest is 17. My oldest is 34. So, yeah. So I'm thinking in 2, maybe 3 weeks, I'll come up for a night. That's okay?
Just pick a date. Don't do it on the 5th. Can't do it on the 5th of June. I won't be here. I
don't do it on the 5th of June.
Yeah, 5th of June.
But I'll call you and let you know when I'm going to come up, okay?
You can do it before then or do it after then. Yeah, I won't be here on the 5th.
I'll get a room in that same place down the road where I stay.
Just call them ahead of time. Yeah,
they always have. They know me. Last time I went, they remembered me.
Well, we've had some things going on up here, and you know the deal about the prison guards and all that. So they were on strike up here.
I heard the prison guards were on strike.
So they were parked in the Clearview. It used to be Clearview Mullins Restaurant right beside Pistolacy's. The Clearview Pistolacy used to own that.
I know the restaurant right there next door. Yeah.
Yeah, that used to be the Clearview. Somebody else owns that now.
Yeah.
The other owners died. In fact, the guy that used to own the motel that you stay in and the restaurant was my JV wrestling coach my whole 4 years when I was on.
My brother did time up there near you, but up further north than you are. What's up there? Dannemora? What's up there?
Dannemora is like northeast. If I go to Lake Placid, it's actually like going east.
He was close to Canada. He was like really close to Canada.
Well, would be between Malone and Plattsburgh.
Okay, yeah.
I think Dannemora is in Franklin County, or it might be.
I think it was Dannemora. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it might be in Clinton. I'm not sure, but it's where that one prison guard helped that guy escape and all that.
Mm-hmm. No, I think that's where it was. I think he was in Dannemora about 3.5 years up there. So I know he was close to Canada, maybe not as close as I'm thinking.
I was watching last night when you're up on JC's, and she sits there and I'm
not worried about any of those people.
No, I know. Sebastian doing what he's.
Oh, Sebastian's he just acted like a knucklehead, right?
He's Doug.
I don't know why people want to behave like that in front of other people, but whatever, No, I got Kittle's new number. That's what I went up there for.
I see that. Yeah, I see that.
I like to keep in touch and go see JC once every week or two, just because I like to do that. It's nice to circulate, right? Circulate around.
I try, but they want to play their games. I don't even know who this Guitar J is, and I'm being accused.
He seems like a very reasonable guy to me. I don't know him, of course. I've only known him as long as he's been going on JC's, but he doesn't seem to be like the others in that I don't think he's looking for conflict. I don't think.
Well, I'm being accused. Wiggin thinks I want to sit up there beside JC all the time when she's live. And, they got that I love her and all this shit.
You and Wiggins make up and break up as many times.
That's on him. No, I trusted him. He went along with his shit. He was up on JC's panel the other day, so I figured I better go up and say my piece and that, and I did. And I went up there a second time later on in the middle of the morning, and I went up there to troll Sebastian.
Sure, why not?
I didn't attack JC.
Sebastian lays himself open for it by behaving that way.
Yeah, but they enabled him to do it. JC let him do it. JC was complaining that I attacked him.
I don't know. He's made some very stupid comments towards me. I really don't give a shit.
Yeah, I'm laughing like a fucker.
If you're gonna sit there and behave like that, then you're fair game. Fair game.
He's got to ask you about liposuction. He thinks he's funny.
Listen, he couldn't answer my question.
He wouldn't answer it. No,
I said,
he doesn't answer questions.
What do your business do? Nothing.
No, he won't say.
As far as I'm concerned, maybe he was like a gay porn star or something.
Yeah, he gave you the same answer he gave. He's worked hard all his life. Very general, nothing specific. The fucker's nuts.
I can't hear you when they're talking behind me like that.
I figured that, but I was going to talk anyways because I could hear it.
So, like I said, I think if you're going to behave like that in chat, then you're fair game for people to come after you. That's all.
Wiggins mad that I trolled Sebastian up on JC's chat at 2:00.
But the man said he ran a business. I said, what business? He couldn't tell me. I asked him like 18 times.
He's had to borrow money off of JC just to eat. He hasn't.
Really,
you know what? This is how I could get Sebastian in my chat. If I started running this chat like a poker game, people can place bets on shit. You know what I mean? This person against this person, debating who's funnier, right? Place your bets. That motherfucker, because he has a gambling problem. That's where all his money goes.
Mm-hmm. Well,
that's why he has nothing.
Gambling's an addiction. That's why I don't gamble. You know what I mean?
You got to set a limit if you're going to gamble. It's like anything else. If you're going to,
once in a while,
if you're going to shoot heroin, you know the risk when you stick that needle in your arm.
Exactly. When the jackpot gets big, I'll buy the lottery, the Powerball. When the jackpot's huge, I don't really consider that gambling very much. It's more like, I pay $20, I get 10 numbers. If I'm lucky, I win something, right? So, but I only do that once or twice a year when the jackpot gets to be like 300 million. You know what I mean? It's like.
Now, did you see my chat this morning?
I don't know. I've been traveling most of the day.
Yeah, I know you've been traveling. Well, I went live at 9:00, and so I had a big surprise. Siberian Gal Pal was in my chat all morning.
Oh, great! I can't wait to get home and settle down again, so I can get back into my routine of seeing the people I see every day.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because when I'm home, I have like these things I do. I go here, I go there, I go there. You know what I mean? Now I'm traveling around. I don't know what's going on anywhere, So,
it's the same old, same old. We got people who want attention, so they're broadcasting stuff that they're doing.
Bingo.
And everybody's talking about everybody, and this person has this person blocked, or this one's bragging, and you got Whipperman out there fucking bragging about people dying on 9/11.
Whip's funny. I mean, Whip's Whip. He unblocked me. He had me blocked for like 3 years. He's unblocked me now. That's fine.
Really?
I'm happy with that.
Did you see me in your chat yesterday with my wrench?
You came in, you were YT.
Hit and run.
Yeah, YT. I saw you in there. You said happy.
I changed the name on it. It stands for yours truly, YT.
That's fine.
It won't let me put them together. I want to, put them right together like how JT has his initials.
Yeah.
They won't. I have to put a space.
I don't know why. I don't understand any of that.
YouTube. Yeah. YT means YouTube.
Okay, Billy, I'm gonna go.
Safe travel, my friend. Hey, if you're coming up, I'm looking forward to it.
Any day but the 5th. I'll be there within 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah,
within 2 or 3 weeks.
Let me know. And
okay.
You can call me on my home line.
I'll call you. I know how to call you.
All right.
Okay, talk to you later, man. Thanks for having me up.
Peace, man.
Bye-bye.
It took a lot of hard work, dedication, and perseverance to find my success, but it was worth it. I never gave up on my dreams. Remember, you can never have a dream come true until you've had a dream. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
20 illegal online pharmacies appear each day, but you can find safe and legitimate pharmacies online by looking for .pharmacy in a web address. Learn more at safe.pharmacy. A public service from the National Association of Boards of Pharmacy.
Hi, I'm George, an economics major at Hillsdale College. Here's Hillsdale President Dr. Larry Arnn with the Constitution Minute.
The Declaration of Independence is more than a bold letter to a British king written by upstart colonists, although it very much is that.
Welcome, Doug.
The Declaration explains the promise of America, that all men and women are born equal in their possession of natural rights, and that the proper exercise of these rights can lead to a full and deeply satisfying life. Just as the Declaration explains America's promise, the Constitution upholds that promise. Its purpose is to protect the rights of all of us, our natural rights. This establishes the possibility, not the guarantee, that we can have a good life. This is true freedom.
To learn more and get a free pocket Constitution, visit constitutionminute.com.
This Constitution Minute was furnished by Hillsdale College.
Making sense of your world.
I agree with everything you're saying.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
My heart just breaks for what's going on.
Making sense of the news. WMAL. Making sense
Roach
of the world.
jar.
Because laws either matter or they don't. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
You're listening to the Memorial Day edition of the Best of the Mark Levin Show. You know, most of you take these little intellectual journeys with me, and I really appreciate it. I hope you learn a lot from them, like this one. Example, you're hearing all this talk about Biden, about the her tape. I've got them all here. Everybody's got them. Or you're hearing about what was said about his cancer or not said about his cancer. You have them all here. We'll listen to some of that. But just listening to it is not enough. What's being done to you is the question. That is, what kind of language are they using? What kind of propaganda are they using? How they're trying to brainwash you and so forth. You want to cut through all the news static, all the hosts that are just burping this stuff up and playing stuff. It's deeper than this. This is utter and complete manipulation. I'll be right back.
WMAL.
Pure Talk, my wireless company, a veteran-led company, believes every man and woman who has faithfully served this country deserves to proudly fly an American flag that was made in America. That's why Pure Talk is on a mission to give an allegiance flag, the highest quality American flag ever, to 1,000 U.S. veterans in time for the patriotic holidays. Switch your cell phone service to Pure Talk today. Know that you're supporting a company that will be providing these high-quality flags made in America to deserving veterans with plans from just $25 a month for unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data. You can enjoy America's most dependable 5G network while cutting your cell phone bill, in many cases, in half. The average Pure Talk family saves over $1,000 a year. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword Mark Levin, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will get you switched hassle-free in as little as 10 minutes. Again, dial pound 250 and say Mark Levin to switch to a wireless company that supports our veterans. Switch to Pure Talk.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at
A lot of glare.
I'm Heather Curtis. An update on a story about a black bear spotted in a tree in the area of Tohono Drive in Langley Park this afternoon. Maryland Department of Natural Resources officers were able to lure it down around 4 p.m. using food and loud noises. It was tranquilized and relocated. A fight over a woman at a nightclub in Woodbridge led to an early morning quadruple shooting in Alexandria, according to the city's police chief, Tarek McGuire. He says around 4 a.m. there was a shootout on Florence Drive. 2 men were found injured at the scene. He says the suspects are another man and woman who brought themselves to hospitals to be treated for gunshot wounds. McGuire expects them to be charged with malicious wounding. The search continues for a third suspect. Traffic and weather next.
We are the American Cancer Society making strides against breast cancer. Are you ready to join the #1 breast cancer movement in the country? Sign up today at makingstrideswalk.org.
Making sense of the headlines. Making sense of your world. WMAL's Viz Colonnades.
Thank you for all you do on the radio show.
What a nice call. Thank you very much.
Weekdays noon to 3. News Talk 105.9. WMAL. Making sense of the news. Around the clock updates and uncommon understanding.
Listen to this, because this stuff is going on behind the scenes and you don't know about it.
News Talk 105.9. Making sense of the news. Former U.S. Navy SEAL Sean Ryan captures real stories about sacrifice and strength.
We go into this hooch searching for Christ knows what.
Regardless if anybody else does it, will you do it?
There's a lot of things that are hurtful and disturbing. Can't get anybody to talk about it.
Uncovering truth with the heroes who live to tell it.
There's a saying, there's no atheists in the foxhole.
That was the hardest part for you coming home.
What?
How'd you get through it?
I worked hard.
The Sean Ryan Show.
You ready?
Let's do it.
All right, let's go.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Hey, I'm Reba McIntyre. In life, you'll hear a lot of people tell you that you can do anything you want. I'm here to tell you that's true. Since I was a little girl, I dreamed of becoming a successful singer and entertainer. It took a lot of hard work, dedication, and perseverance to find my success, but it was worth it. I never gave up on my dreams. Remember, you can never have a dream come true until you've had a dream. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
School absences are often due to the absence of necessary resources. But when Communities in Schools is present, students are connected to the support they need to show up ready to learn. Visit communitiesinschools.org. Being present matters.
SweetDeals.com lets you spend less and have more. Save at least 50% on extraordinary restaurant, product, and entertainment deals. Plus, amazing vacation packages. Live large and save money while doing it. Go to SweetDeals.com today and start saving.
Illuminating the issues.
There's a whole lot missing here in this story, isn't there?
Every day.
Why are we the only ones reporting this?
News Talk 105.9. Making sense of the news.
I'm Vince Vaughn, host of the Vince Show, and Vince
the show
big
is
gut. Obsessive focus on what's good for America. I'll give you the truth beneath the headlines of all of the nation's top stories.
My meter reads 2. Here's to you.
In-depth interviews, live caller interactions, and a front row seat to the most important conversations of the day. Every day. The Vince Show and Vince Podcast.
WMAL's Vince Holidays. Weekdays at noon. News Talk 105.9. WMAL. Making sense of the news.
Every day, men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Listen. Making sense of your world.
I agree with you 100%.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
There's a lot of us out there
making sense of the news. WMAL. Making sense of party politics. Because somebody's got to hold their feet to the fire. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
The champion of liberty and true conservatism. Call Mark now. 877-381-3811.
Folks, this is really cool stuff. You're not going to hear this anywhere. It just doesn't exist. And that's why I'm thrilled you're here. That's why I'm thrilled I have this platform. I want to give you a perfect example. Perfect. Of what I'm saying here in the book on power. Here's a flash montage, hack tip to X, of what the Democrats were saying about Biden. And I want to get beyond what you've been hearing, like they lied to us, and get a little deeper on this. Cut 5, go.
Does the president have the stamina, physically and mentally, do you think, to continue on even after 2024?
Don, you're asking me this question. Oh my gosh, he's the president of the United States. You know, I can't even keep up with him.
The most difficult part about a meeting with President Biden is preparing for it, because he is sharp, intensely probing, and detail-oriented and focused.
I can testify because I've been working very closely with this president for the past few years. I've been knowing it for 30 years. And I'm telling you, this guy's tough. He's smart. He's on his game.
Joe Biden has vision. He has knowledge. He has a strategic thinker.
The president is focused. He's detail-oriented. He's always thinking about the big picture.
He is engaging. He is capable. He has an incredible record as president.
And I'm often with him on foreign trips. He's at the top of his game. So he has a vision. He has knowledge. He has judgment. He has a strategic thinking.
Sounds like Sebastian. I worked hard all my life. I had a business. You don't understand. You got to have some liposuction.
Meetings of staff and cabinet members. I could not have more confidence in the president.
I would just tell you that I meet frequently with the president, and every single time I meet with him, he is just fine.
But he is, again, knowledgeable, wise.
Incredibly sharp, incredibly probing, incredible command of the details.
He is sharp. He is on top of things.
There is nothing to these challenges, these suggestions that somehow he's not sharp and he's
Grand Jean Pierre, that black chick. I'm black, I'm a woman, and I'm gay. Oh.
It goes on, and rightly so.
Needs a good scrogging.
They know they're lying to us.
I don't care what you say. If you're lesbian, you still want cock.
The pursuit and maintenance
Awful way to talk, isn't it?
Power requires the utilization of negative techniques of communication. including manipulation, as I just said, deception, repetition, concealment, distraction, and later you would have heard fear-mongering. In language that is self-serving and orchestrated. This is what tyrannies do. This is what tyrannies do. This is why it is so pernicious. So pernicious. This is totalitarian propaganda, as I again explained in the chapter. This is totalitarian
sedition.
Propaganda. That's what it is. And what you would have also heard if I let it continue, but it's enough already.
Look up that word, Queen T, sedition.
The attack, the smear, the character assassination, the woe is me of anybody who raised what is in fact a fact. What is noticeable by all of us.
See, I'm
with our
lucky.
own eyes and our
Rusty
own
doesn't really bother me.
And so there was an
she might have my
entire
mother's
campaign
pick or
again,
whatever, you know, and people do whatever.
A totalitarian
She blocks
propaganda
me and she
campaign
doesn't really say much about me.
to
And
try
she's
to
actually
sway us, or
has
bully us, that our eyes
verified
are
what
blind,
I
that our
say
ears
is
are
true
blind.
and what I do is not what they claim.
This is what totalitarian.
She even said that
propaganda
Billy's
is
the
all
only
about.
real
This is
man
what
out
the
here.
Democrat
I
Party
watched her.
and our media
She posted
are
it
all
in her
about.
side chat.
You can look at it as they
Or
talk
whatever
about
chat
Trump,
it was, I
Hitler,
forget.
threat to democracy, repetition, deceit, lies.
They
over
keep putting
and
these
over
pop-ups
again.
down
It's
here.
more than propaganda. It's a power play. It's done in communist regimes. It's done in fascistic regimes. It's done in Islamist states. And it's done by the Democrat Party and their media, day in and day out, against us, we the people.
Scott Canning
It's not a
doesn't
mistake.
dare come up here.
It's a strategy.
Duh, I ain't spilled martini
The
on
goal
my
is to
laptop.
subvert
You spilled a...
from the book.
Like
To
it
subvert
bothers
the
me.
civil society. To undermine our values.
I had a pretty
and
good
our
buzz
belief
on
system.
that night. You guys missed the rest of the show.
To
If that hadn't
correct the public
happened, it
spirit.
fucking... I was in a good mood.
In the public place. To reject questioning, challenges. To shut down debate and discussion.
It's what
In
JC
service
does.
to the
That's what she did to me the
totalitarian
other night. Letting that
In
guy
this
put
case,
me
the Democrat
backstage
Party, and it's demand, it's insatiable.
as the others
demand
sit there and run their suck fuck. JC's chat sucks.
Unlike positive.
You got your
power,
way,
which I'll touch
Wiggin.
on tomorrow, I won't overwhelm you with this stuff today. And it goes on. It explains
Fucking
it in
Wiggins a
far more
bigger
detail.
busybody than any of the women. He's worse than the
And we
women.
are subjected to this day in and
You're a
day
busybody, Wiggin. That's all there is to it.
out by the mass
You're worried
media.
about other men's cocks,
And
and
the
you and I
Democrat
talk about,
Party.
oh,
It's
my
day in
cock
and day.
caused
And here
caused
now,
all
today,
this.
the
Maybe I
Republicans
should have
are
let her
like,
suck it.
But they don't.
You use my
They've explained
words
it 1,000 times.
and you copy my shit,
They
Wiggin.
want individuals. with
You ain't
healthy
never been
minds and
around
healthy
anybody like me, Wiggin.
bodies. Many young men to get off the sofa and to work at least 20 hours a week in order
Not
to
Jeff Holler. The
Qualified
government's
for
taking away all the jobs.
under Reagan
Oh.
and later with Newt
You have
Gingrich.
no skills, Jeff. The older
Just
you
try
get,
to
the worse it
younger. You
is.
didn't get Medicaid. That was all changed under Obama. And so now what the Republicans are saying, look, there's people. who
Jeff
need it.
lost
Great
his
thing was set up
Medicaid for
four
being
kids. That's what
dumb.
it was set up
I
for.
got
And it's
ADD. I
expanded
can't
out
pay
there.
attention.
But it was never intended as a welfare program for able-bodied and able-minded individuals who don't look for work. And so the Republicans are saying, we're going to cut them out. They were never supposed to be part of the program. That'll free up money for other things. So the Democrats are running around saying they want to cut Medicaid for the billionaires. They want their negative power. They use negative language.
Alvaro, I doubt you can tell me anything I don't already know.
The language of totalitarians, and they're fear-mongering, they're manipulating, they're deceiving, and they couldn't get away with it but for their media, which is exactly the same mindset. So this entire book on power, this is just a tiny little piece, language, and I've given you a little piece of a little piece. Is something that I think is so relevant to what's taking place today that it'll just click in when you're hearing it. You can talk to others about it and alert them to what's taking place. I do the same thing when it comes to the issue of freedom, when it comes to rights, and so forth and so on. I'm excited about this book. I've written a lot of books. And when I finished this book, I was excited about it. I said, man, this is the best I can do on this subject. I learned a ton. And it's crucial that I pass it on to you folks in an understandable way. So when you're watching this stuff, you know exactly what's going on. Or when there's a debate over a program, you know exactly what's going on. Or when there's changes to election procedures, of course you know they're trying to steal an election. But it's important to know more. That these are movements, that these are strategies, that these are the kinds of things that the Democrat Party and the media, and not just Democrats, some Republicans, but mostly, let's be honest, mostly the other side, that they are using, tools that they are using from totalitarian regimes, whether they be fascists or Marxists or Islamists. They're not using the tools of the framers and the founders. They're not using, the tools of republics and democracies. They're trying to crush them. They're trying to usurp them. And this is what's important to understand. On Jamie Raskin, this is a guy I am itching like hell to debate on my TV or radio show. Right here. But I can't get him. We've tried 1,000 different ways. Because he is the epitome, the quintessential autocrat in my view, as his father was. I want to debate this stuff with him. I want to confront him. I want to challenge him like nobody else will or nobody else can. No offense, I'm just saying. He knows it because he won't come here. He'll come everywhere else, but he won't come here. And neither will Bernie Sanders, and neither will AOC. They'll go on Sunday shows, they'll go on the weekend shows, they will not come here. Here's Raskin, October 2023. Now, the other interesting thing is there's absolutely no accountability. Why? Because the entire ideology is immoral. It's unethical. It's not about telling the truth. It's not about being held to account. It's about power. Do what you need to do to get power. That's why I said we've spent a lot of time, decades, talking about liberty and tyranny. We've spent decades talking about rights, unalienable rights, and the abuse of rights and the change of the nomenclature when it comes to rights, economic rights, social rights, this right, that right, which of course has nothing to do with unalienable rights that the founders were talking about, but nonetheless. So I'm watching, I'm listening, I'm reading, I'm studying, wait a minute, this is liberty and rights. Yes, where they come from, crucially important. What was meant, crucially important. But power determines if you have them. Power. And so I got to break this thing down. I've got to break it down. And that's what I've done in this book for you. Jamie Raskin, this is, let's see, a year and a half ago, October 2023. Jamie Raskin, October 2023. Hatzip Western Lensman on X. I try to give everybody credit the credit's due. And you have Wolf Blitzer. Wolf Blitzer's a propagandist of the left. He spews negative language to support negative power. That is the kind of political, governmental, societal, and cultural power that runs counter to our founding. And most of them do. And now you'll be able to analyze it and break it down with a simple book. With a simple title on power. Here's Jamie Raskin, cut 6, go.
Does this raise alarms about whether President Biden is fit to serve another term in office?
And this was the attack on Robert Hur, the special counsel. I must have 5 or 10 clips here of politicians and people in the media attacking this guy, Robert Hur, who doesn't appear to have a political bone in his body. And when you listen to these Hur tapes, and you can listen on your own, and I think some was played on Friday by Larry, was it not, Mr. Producer? I believe so. You'll see how the attack on Robert Hur was another totalitarian attempt to change the subject, to threaten those who dared to threaten their power, and so forth and so on. Go ahead.
Well, undoubtedly, that's what Robert Hur, who comes from my state, he's a Maryland Republican. Undoubtedly, that's what he intended to do with those.
So Robert Hur is one of these Republicans that's not a Republican. He's a Republican by registration, but he's not really a party guy. He's just one of these kind of establishment Republican guys. But you see, Raskin is a Stalinist. So he turns him into sort of this fire-breathing Republican, which the guy is absolutely not. Why? Because part of the totalitarian mindset, what I'm talking about, negative power and negative language, is to pile on, is to abuse, is to smear, is to target, as opposed to actually discussing the issue. And when you discuss the issue of Joe Biden, he's brilliant, he's sharp, he's wise. Because they want to retain power, they want to increase their power, they want to ram it through. It doesn't matter. They have no morals whatsoever. Go ahead.
I spent an hour with President Biden and the entire Democratic caucus, where he regaled and entertained everyone for an hour and went through all of the extraordinary.
First of all, it's regaled, but who cares? Go ahead.
His administration, including the Inflation Reduction Act. We've got the best economy in the world right now, the creation of millions and millions of jobs.
Okay, it literally goes on for many minutes here. Jamie Raskin is a Stalinist, in my humble opinion, like his father was. He's really good at this. He goes on about all these programs that were passed, and Hur is a Republican. He comes from my state, and he's never going to tell the truth about Biden.
So Wheaton Shaw turns his back on the USA. He hates his own country. You fucking faggot.
He wasn't, but it doesn't matter. It's not about truth or morality. It's about coercion. It's about thought control. Power. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Hi, I'm Vince Gagne, host of The Vince Show and Vince Podcast. It's a show with an obsessive focus on what's good for America.
Look at this fucking idiot. Look at this fucking, look at this fucking thing. You know, Tiffany? Yeah, you really are fucking out there, bitch.
Conversations of the day, every day. The Vince Show and Vince Podcast.
Trying to justify to your husband other men want you.
105.9.
Yes.
Making sense of the news.
Oh, the world's overpopulated. Stop having babies. Humans are overpopulating the earth. Oh, what a dumb fucker.
Southbound delays are solid off of Powder Mill Road past NASA, heading past this area. So this is an ongoing.
Sorry, yeah. You and fucking Alicia are right in the same fucking boat. One's got 4 kids out of wedlock, and the other one hates kids. But you guys are besties. Something ain't right. Hey, Tiffany, you better say something to Alicia. She overpopulated the earth. She fucking brought 4 humans into this fucking world. You better say something to her.
They didn't think I was going to make it. I'm Latoya Lucas, and I'm a veteran. I had to learn to live with the scars, both visible and invisible.
DAV helps veterans like Latoya get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year.
My victory is overcoming my wounds so I can help other veterans.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
This is my new best friend, Esther. She might look like any normal, playful puppy, but Esther's being raised to become a canine companion.
Fucking stupid, Alvaro. You really are stupid.
She needs lots of loving care and attention, plenty of exercise, and good eating habits so that she can live a long and healthy life for her future family. Visit CCI.org or call 1-800-572-BARK. Raise a puppy, change a life. You can make a world of difference in the life of a person with a disability. I was choosing alcohol over my family. That's when I made the call. Now I'm finding better ways.
Mental health care works when you make the call. Visit mentalhealthcareworks.org. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
Tastes like beer.
I host of the Vince Show and Vince Podcast. It's a show with an obsessive focus on what's good for America. I'll give you the truth beneath the headlines of all of the nation's top stories. The Vince Show is redefining news talk with in-depth interviews, live caller interactions, and a front row seat to the most important conversations of the day. Every day. The Vince Show and Vince Podcast.
WMAL's Vince Colonnades, weekdays at noon. News Talk 105.9. WMAL, making sense of the news.
Newsmax just went public on the New York Stock Exchange and listed on the big board. Millions of Americans like you are joining our news revolution. Reuters Institute says Newsmax is one of the top 12 news brands in America. Even President Trump says it's terrific. 40 million.
Oh, there's Wiggin in JC's chat making fun of Billy. Isn't that nice? Oh, isn't that nice? Wiggin all triggered. Daughter of Truth passed around all triggered. Oh, what the matter? Am I undermining you, Wiggin? It doesn't look like it. You're in JC's chat fucking hugging on your mama. You need JC to survive. You can't do this without JC. Wiggin? You had to hire a woman. It's just me. Ain't nobody helping me do this shit. Wolfie said she was gonna help me and all that. But they're doing other things. They're too busy. All right. And it wouldn't be right if Wolfie and I were dating online. It's okay to be friends. I like the woman. Had a lot of fun. She knows she's welcome to come here. Wolfie knows if she wanted to, she'd come up here. I won't talk to her. I just let her go. You want to come up and go after Wiggin? Go ahead, Wolfie. I'll let you out. You know you're welcome. I'm your favorite American. I know I am. I made a good impression on that woman there, Will Durant. You better keep me for a friend. I make a better friend than I do an enemy. Wiggins fucking finding out right now. He's in JC's crying. That's all there is to it. So I fucking win. Positive language. Fuck you, Wiggin, you chicken shit motherfucker. You fear my wrench, Wiggin. You think you're fucking the only one important out here? Fuck you, JC. You dumb cunt. You're the one who said it. I watched Rusty posting in Vegas chat about you. Your fucking father didn't protect you from that guy.
Hillsdale College is offering more than 40 free online courses.
You went to the barn more than once.
You learn about the Constitution, the stories in the book of Genesis, the rise and fall of the Roman Republic, the history of the ancient Christian church with Hillsdale College's free online courses. Hillsdale recently launched a new course, Understanding Capitalism.
You didn't see that one? I don't know what Will Durant's going to do, but I think Will Durant is actually trolling Tiffany.
Free to choose.
If I were Will Durant, I definitely would choose Wolfie over Tiffany.
Human nature plays a role in our economic system.
If I had to take on a woman with kids, well, Tiffany doesn't have any kids. Well, she might. She probably aborted the fuckers. They're in heaven right now. That's sad. I hate abortion. I do. I hate abortion. Woman decides to have one of them. She made the worst decision she ever made, other than letting herself get pregnant.
That's levinforhillsdale.com, Levin for hillsdale.com to register for free. See, I grew up in the age of free Freeman and Firing Line and Bill Buckley and the great debaters, and I loved it.
The fuck?
Loved it. That's what I try to do with Life, Liberty, and Levin. That's what I try to do with his books, to rekindle that era. It's not a threat.
Oh, I'm coming after you now, Wheaton Shaw. I got what you posted. You weren't very specific on that. I'm assuming you're including the Biden administration in on that because I know you hate Trump. Anybody who's friends with JC hates Trump. Anybody who gets along with JC they hate Trump.
Hear what I have to say.
And anybody who gets along with JC or says they do, and they claim to be a Trumper or MAGA, you're lying.
All right, folks, we got 2 big time hours left. We'll be right back.
WMAL. Making sense of your world. I can't believe this. News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
And I so with you.
JC keeps complaining she has all them people just all lurkers. Nobody else, nobody's posting. Except Wiggin and his goofy fucking girlfriend. Oh, he sharded when he got up. Oh, so what? Wiggin stood there and fucking threw all them fucking beard hairs in the fucking dinner that first time he cooked. What a slob. I made him had to buy a new couch. That fucking stunk, I bet you. He sat there smoking them cigarettes and fucking farts all day long. Probably doesn't take a bath for a fucking week. And he has to change his daughter's diapers all the time. That must smell nice. What do you do with all the dirty diapers, Wiggin? Constantly cleaning up human shit and piss. That's why he acts the way he does. I'd be miserable too.
Every time I feel my baby kick, I sing. You don't understand. I never sing. I'm not good at singing. I'm the only
And there he is in JC's chat talking about Billy. That's all they can do. I live in his fucking brain.
I'm a singer. With a captive audience of one.
The fucker don't dare come here.
She never will. We know how it feels. We're the March of Dimes. Find out how we can help you have a healthier baby at marchofdimesbaby.org.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus Media Station. News. News Talk 105.9.
In this hour, Maryland Ivy is referencing words after he says El Salvador's government refused to let him meet today with Homer Abrego Garcia.
So the big news is Tiffany yelled at Gary not to touch her.
He says when they arrived where Abrego Garcia is being held, they were told to go back to
You're lucky I'm not there, Tiffany.
That's ridiculous.
If I were your husband, I'd be touching you. You wouldn't be fucking running your mouth the way you do. Tell me where I lied. Wow, you lied to God about your oath to your husband. Marriage is a contract between two people. You violated your contract, Tiffany.
President Trump lay a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier before honoring fallen soldier members.
Trading nudes with a guy. That's lust. It's adultery. Doesn't matter that Charlie didn't get to stick his dick in your pussy. Doesn't matter. God says do good deeds and all, do good in all the deeds you do. I don't know if this is a deed or not.
12:30 a.m. tomorrow.
Tiffany turned me in, copyrighted me, whatever. JC did the same thing. I did it just to see if they do it. I'm glad you did it.
The National Memorial Day Parade kicked off down Constitution Avenue by actor Gary.
You ain't shit, Wiggin. You're just another YouTuber.
For granted those who have sacrificed in service to our country.
DC not the only parade in town with Rockville and Falls Church.
Rusty helped you get started. She spent months with you. Doug come up here one day. One day. He wouldn't even here 5 hours. So you can't even say it was a day. Should have been an all-night affair. But, you know, he went back to the motel. He likes to travel and see things. He's a New Yorker. He's in the North Country. He's in the best. When he comes up here, he's in the best place in all the United States. Seriously. Where I live is fucking, it's beautiful up here. Hillary came to Fort Drum. She ain't been back since. That fucking idiot Obama fucking went to Tupper Lake or one of the places up here in the Adirondacks trying to get a fucking foothold. We don't like them people up here, a lot of us. And Watertown is a Democrat town. They're Channel 7 News, ABC, they're out there.
Street Northwest was the city's 4th homicide in 3 days. You can't let this
Wiggin, come on up and tell me when I'm undermining. That way I'll know not to do it. Because I have no idea what your mission is, what the fuck, other than I see what you're doing with JT and Rusty. You know, you keep responding, and then, you know, the thing with Wolfie and Will Durant, and, you know.
The current count is now within 5 of the 2024 total. John Matthews on WMAL and WMAL.com.
Former New York Congressman.
I don't think Will Durant's using my mother anymore. He has in the past, but, you know, even if he did, you know, use it for good. Oh, Billy, I love you. Yeah, there's my mother. But you guys won't do that. Whipperman. He thinks he's going to drive me out of Vegas. He actually thinks he's going to make me quit doing this shit. If I quit, it's going to be on my own terms. You're an idiot, Whipperman. Lars Borgenstein, whatever your fucking name is. Want to be fucking racist, KKK motherfucker.
Just $29 a month. You can give hope to these children.
Monica's, I told him, Whipper, you haven't done anything to me. Well, Monica, he's laughing about all those deaths on September 11th. He posts that other people besides me.
Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out.
Trash in America.
Jake started off with
You're a fucktard, Monica. Donnie, you're a fucking big fat motherfucker. I'd like to meet you in person. There he is. There's little fucking patty cakes. You didn't do very well this morning, Patty. All right. Siberian Gal Pal kind of put the kibosh on your bullshit. I was surprised to see her in my chat.
I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at.
Because I will protect little old ladies. I don't care. It's just words on the screen, but choose your words wisely. Because words do have meanings.
Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflush.com.
You're a fucktard, Patrick. What do you got? You sit in your fucking recliner all fucking day. See, I'm sitting at a desk in a chair. Desk chair.
Sign up today at makingstrideswalk.org.
One time I laid down on the couch. Wiggin took, I knew it. That's why I did it.
Traffic does remain very busy for the northbound Baltimore, Washington.
Oh, he charted. Oh. JC's chat is about Billy Hayden again. There's fucking Wiggin and Daughter and Truth in there. Fucking. Oh, Billy farted when he got out of his chair. Oh. I'm not even reading what you're posting, Patrick. I just looked to see who it was there. Get away. If I look over here on my phone, it's not the same here because the light's coming through the window.
This evening, temperatures 59 to 66 degrees. By morning, we're down to 49 to 58. Mostly cloudy for your.
Well, you are a nobody, Patrick. I'll tell you that. Why you here then? Why you even bother? If I'm not worth your time, why even bother? Oh, you want to troll me? Okay. He's playing the national anthem again. Holy fuck. I better plug this fucker in. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Come on, Wiggin, try me.
The Mark Levin Show, where we honor our fallen heroes in this Memorial Day and every day. Hello, America. Mark Levin here. Our number 877.
All right, he's not live now.
3811 877 381 3811. You know, this Biden issue goes to
There he is live. They're saying they're the
republic.
best of.
If one man, if one family, if a staff at the White House, if an attorney general of the United States, if a hand-picked doctor, if the Democrat Party and their media, they can do to the American people what they did, then what will they stop at? Nothing. Nothing. I want to give this some foundation, some context, and then I want to get into this a little bit. And when we take calls at the bottom of the last hour, I'd be very curious about your input on this. But this was something that I actually discussed in 2022, and I used the word possible dementia. You may recall this, Mr. Producer, on TV, and I was waved off. It was waved off. I was looking for the clip, but I couldn't find it. But I was waved off. No, you can't say that. In any event, a lot of eyebrows rose, but I could see, I could tell. As I told you, we have a family member who's quite ill with Alzheimer's. But I want to start this now to remind you what I said a year ago on Fox. I did an entire monologue on this. And I'll tell you what's interesting is when I do these monologues here on Fox, on Blaze, it is amazing how events catch up with the monologues. These monologues that I've done on Fox about Qatar, look at the exposure now about what Qatar is and what Qatar has done. Nobody was doing that. Or you might recall March 2017. March 2017, right, Mr. Producer? Is that when it was? No. Yeah. March 2017, we played it on the anniversary, I believe, on how we put together the spying on Donald Trump. Nobody was doing that. But let's lay the foundation for what's being discussed now, well after the fact.
Yeah, I'm okay.
And so this is from June. What is the date? I don't remember, Rich. I don't have it in front of me here. June 16, 2024, opening monologue of my Fox show. Go ahead.
We see Joe Biden. We see how he walks. We see how he stares. We see how he gets angry and how he cringes. This issue of dementia is a serious issue. I should know. I've had two people in my family who've had Alzheimer's and one who had moderate dementia. It's not funny. It's very upsetting. It's depressing. To watch somebody deteriorate like this, and in the early stages, they know they're deteriorating. And then how the family has to care for the person, wants to care for the person. It's not funny. You've never heard me do jokes about Joe Biden and dementia. Well, I'll make jokes about him on other things, but not that. And Potter Stewart said about pornography once, I know it when I see it. I know dementia when I see it. I think I speak maybe not for all, but for many people, many families who've seen this. The telltale signs. It's not a mystery when somebody's deteriorating. Everybody gets old and they have memory issues. They'll forget a name here and there. They'll mix things up. That's to be expected. That's not what we're talking about here. And this is why I'm so disgusted that Joe Biden among 1,000 other things, you see men in the past, healthy men in their 50s. You've seen what the presidency does to them. We're the greatest country on the face of the earth, and we are facing China, Russia, North Korea, Iran. We have issues going on in this country that are ripping us apart. You can see what's going on in our streets, the crime, the drugs, the anti-Semitism. It's not good enough for a president to do well in a debate or do well in a State of the Union speech. And everybody says, see, he was great for 90 minutes.
And by the way, let me interrupt. This was before the debate. Go ahead.
Many people who have dementia or Alzheimer's, early stages, can do that sort of thing. That is, you look at them and you say, actually, they're doing okay. But they're not doing okay. The job of a president is 24/7. There's a reason Joe Biden has taken vacation 40% of his presidency. There's a reason why he won't have give and take press conferences on a regular basis. There's a reason why his staff walks around him when he goes to and fro from the helicopter. There's a reason why we're seeing on television what we're seeing and we're hearing what we're hearing out of the president's mouth, because he's not well. Again, I'm not saying that as a joke. He's not well. People have heart disease. I do. People have diabetes. People have all kinds of things. And people have mental health issues. And it's not funny, but it is utterly unconscionable and irresponsible for the largest political party in this country to be nominating somebody for president who they nominated before when he wasn't well, when the vast majority of its members know damn well that what I'm saying is the truth. And the hosts in every news organization in America know what I'm saying is the truth. And the people who've met with him, Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, Nancy Pelosi, who go out and lie for him, they know I'm telling the truth. We have a report from the special counsel, Robert Hur, who was investigating Joe Biden for crimes related to classified information. And he found that he committed crimes. And he did so willfully under the Espionage Act. And didn't do so with presidential protection. He did so when he was a senator, when he was a citizen, and when he was vice president. But he says, I can't charge him because the Department of Justice has taken the position that you can't charge a sitting president. Plus, he says, he's not mentally fit. And so what happened? The special counsel came under a withering attack from the White House, from the Democrat Party, from the leadership of the Democrat Party, from their campaign operatives, from the media. But the man's speaking the truth. He didn't have an issue with Biden as president or being president. He had an issue when he interviewed him for 5 hours. And we have an attorney general of the United States who will not release the audio. We, the people, we have a right to hear the audio, especially now when we're making a decision about the presidency. When we see what we see and we hear what we hear, we want the audio. He comes up with some kind of cockamamie privilege. He goes into the White House. Only a president can assert privilege. Biden asserts privilege to protect his audio. This is a sham. They don't want transparency. The special counsel said Mr. Biden's memory was significantly limited, both during the recorded interviews with the ghostwriter in 2017 and in his interview with our office in 2023. These aren't national security secrets, the audio. The argument that, well, it could affect other investigations, how preposterous. Anybody remember the release of grand jury testimony from Bill Clinton with a cigar? Was that a national security secret? They come up with these lies. He also said, we have also considered that at trial, Mr. Biden will likely present himself to a jury, as he did during our interview of him, as a sympathetic, well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. That's not good enough for President of the United States. We had a report out of the Wall Street Journal by Annie Linsky and Siobhan Hughes. Now, these two have come under withering attack. They're not Trump supporters. They're reporters. Reporters tend to be Biden supporters. They're liberals, I'm sure. I don't know. But they're under attack because they dared to write an article, behind closed doors, Biden shows signs of slipping. Participants in meetings said the 81-year-old president performed poorly at times. The White House said Biden is sharp and his critics are playing partisan politics. No, the Democrats are going to run somebody for president. How is this partisan politics? Well, he's going to be the nominee. That's the problem. When President Biden met with congressional leaders in the West Wing in January to negotiate a Ukrainian funding deal, he spoke so softly at times that some participants struggled to hear him. According to 5 people familiar with the meeting, he read from notes to make obvious points, paused for extended periods of time, sometimes closed his eyes for so long that some in the room wondered whether he had tuned out. Now, it goes on And of course, it has the White House pushing back. It has the White House calling people they interviewed to tell them to call the Wall Street Journal back and tell them actually it wasn't as we thought. This is a scam.
Now, there's another 4 or 5 minutes of this that we will play, if not in the next segment after the bottom of the hour, but all of this was before the debate. And why am I playing this? I'm playing it because we knew, the media knew, the Attorney General knew, the staff knew, his wife knew. And if he hadn't done that debate, he would have been their nominee. And even more, as I keep saying, I said yesterday, the 25th Amendment of the United States Constitution should have been triggered a long time ago by Kamala Harris. She knew, and by that cabinet. They knew. This was a massive, massive cover-up. This is a scandal, the likes of which this nation has never experienced. On top of another scandal, the effort to destroy Donald Trump through lawfare. The nation never experienced that either. But keep something in mind that I keep pointing out. These two scandals were occurring simultaneously. The effort to destroy Donald Trump, to bankrupt him, and the effort to protect Joe Biden, who was mentally disabled. And that's what the ruling class did. That's what the Democrat Party did. That's what the media did. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you got to hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflesh.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe, and then it spread and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflesh.com. It was the only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflesh.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free, so you have nothing to lose. But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflesh.com.
We are the American Cancer Society, making strides against breast cancer. Are you ready to join the #1 breast cancer movement in the country? Sign up today at makingstrideswalk.org.
Happy kids heal faster. That's why Starlight Children's Foundation delivers happiness through gaming, toy deliveries, and more to hospitals across the country. Learn more at starlight.org.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Making sense of your world.
This is no conspiracy theory. This is a fact. Here it is.
Mark Levin, weekdays 6 to 9 p.m.
Listen to this, would you?
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
While serving in Iraq, our vehicle was hit. They didn't think I was going to make it. I'm LaToya Lucas, and I'm a veteran. I had to learn to live with the scars, both visible and invisible.
DAV helps veterans like LaToya get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year.
My victory is overcoming my wounds, so I can help other veterans.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
I was choosing alcohol over my family. That's when I made the call. Now I'm finding better ways to cope.
Mental healthcare works when you make the call. Visit mentalhealthcareworks.org. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
Making sense of your world on the go. Stream your favorite shows, get the day's top headlines, and access our podcast archives, all with the new WMAL app.
This is for you.
Get the WMAL app on Google Play or the Apple App Store and stay connected.
I'm Shanola Hampton. I support the Feeding America network of food banks because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
When I have an asthma attack, I feel scared. I feel like I'm choking.
Prevent your child's next asthma attack. Visit www.noattacks.org or call your doctor. Even one attack is one too many. Brought to you by the EPA and the Ad Council.
When you're high, you feel different. But if you feel different, you drive different. So don't drive high. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
With over 20 years of generous community support, Wounded Warrior Project has helped post 9/11 veterans and their families with no-cost services, legislative advocacy, and more. And we're just getting started. Visit woundedwarriorproject.org/possible.
WMAL. The man who helped shape U.S. monetary policy just released a bombshell book called Our Dollar, Your Problem. In it, former IMF chief economist Kenneth Rogoff warns the U.S. dollar's dominance is under attack, and if it falls, your savings could be the first to go. That's why Advantage Gold is giving away a free copy of Rogoff's book to anyone who schedules a one-on-one precious metals appointment. You'll discover why gold is becoming the #1 hedge against a global currency shift, how to move your IRA or 401k into physical gold, tax and penalty free, and how to get up to $10,000 in free gold and silver with a qualifying account. Get your free copy today while supplies last. No precious metals purchase necessary. Call 800-324-9902 now. That's 800-324-9902. Don't wait. Supplies are limited. Call 800-324-9902 or go to AdvantageGold.com. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional. Making sense of your world.
Talk radio is where I get all of my information.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
Tuesday, who was using that auto pen and who was really running the Biden White House? Ed Martin is trying to get to the bottom of that. He'll join us. O'Connor and Company, 5 to 9 a.m. on WMAL.
Edition of the Best of the Mark Levin Show. We're going to have to wait till after the bottom to play the final few minutes of that, but that's a year ago. And people were talking around it or mocking it or that sort of thing. But I feel today, we really need to think about the consequences of something like this. The media trying to pretend that they had no role. I mean, Jake Tapper now has a best-selling book.
It's amazing you don't have anything better to do than to come
Jake Tapper was one of the principal con artists. I mean, everybody's seen the video. Every single network other than Fox, every single one was involved in the cover-up. Every single host who talked about it, almost, was involved in the cover-up. Think about this, folks. Every single Democrat in Congress who was asked about it, but one, this guy Dean Phillips, who was running but nobody cared, covered it up. Every single one of them. Bernie Sanders, Hakeem Jeffries, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, name them. Now, what hasn't been discussed any further, of course, is not only is it a danger to the United States, this man was meeting with foreign leaders. And they knew what we knew. They saw what we saw. Foreign leaders. This issue of the auto pen is a very, very serious issue. We're going to have Chairman Comer on the program in hour 3 at about 8:20 p.m. Eastern, because they think they know one or more of the staffers who was involved. I don't know that he'll disclose it on the program, but I will probe to see what he knows. Now, you can't have nameless, faceless staffers using an auto pen.
As a matter of fact, all of his women have been passed around. He never been married. All his kids are out of wedlock. He dated women with kids, so he's used to taking on fucking used pussies. He flashed that money on his fucking stream, and next thing you know, Daughter of Truth is all up his ass. We're just waiting for the father of Daughter's kids to come by and roll Wiggin over and take his fucking money. She ain't gonna marry him. She ain't gonna marry him. You brave to come up here, daughter, on your own? Huh? Remember when you fucking asked JC for a wrench because you didn't know who the fuck was trolling you? JC didn't dare rat me out. It wouldn't have looked good for her. That's for fucking sure. I can go in JC's chat. You know, if I go in there and hide my identity and fucking 2 posts, they time me out just because I don't know who that is. Chew. But you come into my chat and do your fucking bullshit and you don't like how I handle it. Wheaton Shaw. Wiggin, you're supporting somebody who says our military isn't worth anything. So he just disparaged every American who gave their life in defense of this country. I fucking hate you, Wheaton Shaw, you fucking pudgy fuck. You better listen to Merle Haggard's song, Fighting Side of Me, because that's where you guys are now. You guys are on the fighting side of me. First time I heard that song, I was a teenager. My dad's friends listened to country music all the time. A couple of them were fucking big Merle Haggard fans because that guy could play. So there you go. Andy wants to say, Billy loves JC. On the contrary, I don't love her. Why would I love her? She doesn't love me. You're an idiot doing it, Andy, and you just, if you want to get on the bad side of me, you've accomplished it. So fuck you, Andy. Go suck Wiggins' dick. You're the one, JT. JT thinks that Wiggin and I were fucking hugging each other and shit. No, this has been going on the whole time. And the reason that Wiggin does it is because I upstage him. Yeah. I upstage him, Tom. I do. All caps crew. Jesus Christ. Patrick, you don't stand a chance. Go back to JC's. I mean, you're welcome to stay here. I turned Mark Levin down. Yeah, I'll open my panel. You fucking think you're brave enough to come up here? Come on up. There's the link. Huh? Yellow toe fungus. Yellow toe fungus. Yeah. Yellow toe fungus. No, you guys get on a thing and you do it. It's not working. It's not working. Patrick Rowe, you're beating a dead horse. All your efforts are in vain. It's the Hayden effect. Just ask Rocky Goldman. Wiggin attacked Rocky Goldman. Come in here, talk to me one-on-one, and Wiggins got to stick his fucking nose in it. Fuck you, Wiggin. You ain't no Christian. Chicken shit, motherfucker. Think everybody's going to bow to you? You fucking praised Will. He's the greatest. You gave him the fucking crown, and then he ran a stream, and he's trolling Rusty, probably the one that knows her the best, because him and Empress Chinchilla and a couple others, they're all fucking, a clique. They were. Now they're all fighting. Sorry, I'm going to call where right is right. And, Will Durant wasn't being mean to anybody. And his wrenches, he told him, don't be timing anybody out. And he gave certain people wrenches just, because of what goes on. I didn't get timed out. Ray Serrain fucking asked permission to time me out, and he said no. I see it. she's blocking my accounts on one, and I come in with a different one where she could see it. I heard a woman say call him off, Shane. So something was happening. Either it was a phone call, it was somebody at the door. Call my cops, Rusty. Call the Governor Village Police, Rusty. Try this with me. Tell them about how I haven't made any videos of you other than going live and talking about you. I know how you don't like being talked about. But you guys have it wrong. It's not that I like JC. It's Rusty wants this right here. We made comment. I don't think I'm gorgeous or anything like that. I'm not conceited. I'm not a selfish man. There's no point in it. You guys are fucking selfish. Patrick Rowe, if we were face to face, you wouldn't stand a chance, and you know it. Yellow feet. Yellow toe fungus. Not long ago, Wiggin, you better do something about JC. Fuck you, Wiggin. It's the end of the trail for you, pal. Tired of your bullshit. I can't wait for the father of her kids to fucking roll you over. You're going to get rolled. I'm going to laugh when it happens. I see you with a great big knot on your forehead. Fuck you, Wiggin. It's been the same shit with JC over the years. And you're out here acting like you've been out here longer than everybody. I've been doing this a long time. How long were you with Rusty doing this? She fucking showed you all the tricks, told you what to do, and you sit there and demand from her, and I made your favorite wizard, and on and on and on, and then you sit there and laugh about shit, but then you get mad. You came into range chat, and you niggers, called us all niggers. Wiggin, you snorted too much cocaine, right? The women in your life are a bunch of drug addicts. I married my high school sweetheart. When that ended, I'm like, in actuality, the right woman just hasn't come along. The two of them that I wouldn't marry are already married. One I had kids with will never get married. I used to pay child support. I don't anymore. All the kids are growing. No child support on this part. So Patrick just wants to post. Well, Patrick Rowe, Will Durant treated me very professionally and treated me like I was an actual friend in his chat, and I appreciate it. I would have told you, Rusty, you got to go through your cops first. Yeah, you can't file a report. She told you a crime's got to be committed. There's been no crime. She thinks you think you know the legal system. I thought you were going to take me to Zoom court. You're a judge in Washington, Rusty. Huh? You just want me to talk about it. And, I see you post, even though you blocked me, Rusty. It doesn't do you any good to block me. I see it anyways. If I want to. I'm not like JC though. I don't lie about it. I don't watch. Wiggin says he doesn't watch my stream, but yeah, they're always taking clips and then they're bragging, oh, Billy was in Janny's clips. Fucking Janny clips. Tom, are you that old handle? Guy, I don't know if it's a trash can he's holding or if it's a fucking keg of beer.
He did both.
It turned out.
Both. The Department of Justice, other operatives there, the Deputy Attorney General, the head of the Criminal Division, the Associate Attorney General.
We got to listen to this.
They did both. They unleashed a special counsel unconstitutionally against Donald Trump. Well, at the same time, they were protecting Joe Biden from the 25th Amendment, from discovery by the American people, and from Congress. Go ahead.
Great republic. It's just unacceptable for a great republic. And 100 years from now, assuming this republic still exists, they're going to wonder, who the hell were these citizens who voted like this? Or this corrupt media, the corrupt Democrat Party? But history's too late. This needs to be dealt with now. Now, what am I talking about? Again, in all seriousness, and of course I'll come under attack. I don't care. The truth is the truth. There's 7 stages of dementia. Verywellmind.com is just one of many, many sites, medical, that point this out. And dementia progresses in stages ranging from mild to severe. Isn't it amazing we haven't had this discussion any time in the last 5 years on any network? Because they try to intimidate us. This needs to be discussed. It needs to be analyzed. It needs to be vetted with the American people. We need to know as much as we can. And I'm not going to cover this up. 7 stages of dementia. And so, the first stage is no cognitive decline.
Let's stop here for a moment. Again, I'm live now. Now, I go through this, and you'll hear the last few minutes. So there's no way Jake Tapper didn't hear this, or these other people didn't hear this. The Democrats in Congress, the staffers, they all heard it. They all knew I was right. And they marched on. And they marched on. You know, and Jake Tapper says in his now best-selling book, which is really a disgusting disgrace, this grifter who helped cover up
741
participated in the worst scandal in American history, certainly the worst political scandal in American history, is not profiting from it. I can't think of anything more grotesque and immoral, quite frankly. But that said, there's no way this could have been missed, certainly by anybody close to Biden or anybody who talked to the people close to him. And as I said at the time, as I said last week, as I said yesterday, and I'll say again, his wife, Jill Biden, is utterly evil.
Hey, I bought drapes.
Evil. Because she knew everything about it. His bathroom habits, his ability to get dressed in the morning, what kind of mood he was in when he was awakened in the morning. I mean, she saw it up close and personal. She knew better than anybody else that she was power hungry. And does everybody remember why this government exists? It exists for we the people.
Is it Steve Nash? Was that the name on the last name was Nash? Steve Nash.
She normally doesn't exhibit any signs of memory loss, confusion, or cognitive impairment. However, the structure and functioning of their brain may have started to deteriorate as the nerve cells, the neurons in their brain start to lose connection with other brain cells and die. Okay, people can function that way. Stage 2, very mild cognitive decline. The person starts to experience occasional lapses of memory, such as forgetting where they keep familiar everyday objects, forgetting names they once knew very well. At this stage, the symptoms are unlikely to affect the person's work or social interactions. We know a lot of elderly people who have this problem. Okay, fine. Most of them aren't present, by the way. Stage 3, mild cognitive decline. Now it gets more serious. This is a stage where cognitive impairment starts to become more noticeable to the patient, as well as their friends, family members, and colleagues. The person may start to show symptoms such as getting lost while walking or driving, particularly in unfamiliar places.
Must have been him on the radio.
And retaining very little of it. forgetting the names of people they just met, losing items of importance or value, having trouble concentrating.
Yeah, I never been on a panel with that guy or whatever. I know, I remember it.
Settings and so forth. Stage
He was
4,
fucking he was
cognitive
naked
decline.
holding a
This stage,
keg
the
of beer, I
person
think it
exhibiting
was.
definitive
Could
decline
never
in
really
cognitive
figure it
ability
out.
in a clinical interview. Lack of knowledge of current and recent events, difficulty remembering parts
I
of
might
their
have
own
it somewhere.
personal
I could
history.
probably
They have
find
that
it.
in her report. Trouble with organizing, planning, traveling, and managing finances. And it goes on. Stage 5, moderately severe cognitive decline. From this stage onward, the person may no longer be
We're
able to
talking
function
about
without some assistance.
Joe Biden's
Some of the
dementia.
symptoms: difficulty recalling an important detail, such as their address, phone number, or high school, or the date of their son's death, or when they were vice president, I would add. Disorientation in terms of place and time, such as confusion regarding the season, date, day of the week, or time of the day, or mixing up names of people, or turning in the wrong direction and staring into the sky. And other problems like trouble with making decisions. At this stage, the person can likely still remember their own name and the names of their spouse and children, but they may struggle with recalling the names of their grandchildren. They may be able to eat and use the bathroom without assistance, but may need help with tasks such as deciding what to wear and so forth. Stage 6, severe cognitive decline. And stage 7, I don't think the president is at stage 6 or 7. I think he's heading there, and he's heading there very quickly. If I had to guess, he's likely well into stage 5. I don't know. But Jill knows. His doctor knows. The experts out there
Dr.
know.
Jill Biden. She's a
And we,
doctor.
the people, need to learn more about the cognitive state of the President of the United States, and they need to stop playing cat and mouse with us. This is about the country and the future of the country. That's the bottom line. So that was before the debate, and I'd mentioned it on other occasions on Hannity's show, on this show, and on my own Fox and Blaze shows. And look, you saw it yourselves. But I felt somebody needed to pull it all together and speak out, and so I did. And nobody else had. I mean, Richard, nobody else had. I looked at people on my own network. I've looked at people in talk radio. I looked at people on other networks, newspaper companies. Nobody was just pulling it together. And so I did it. So Jake Tapper comes along and he writes a book about all the cover-ups. I'm not a journalist, America. I'm one of you. I call it as I see it. I'm a partisan for America. This whole get-up, this whole setup of the government is for you. It's to protect you. Now, what you saw there is what I call negative power. And negative language, negative power. They will do anything for power. And they did. And then they will use...
I have a cardinal
coercive
making a
language
lot of
and
noise
flexibility
outside
to
right now.
hold on to that power.
He's right
That's
there.
what you saw. That's what happens in tyrannies. Positive power is the
I
pushback.
can't mimic that.
Our nation was founded on positive power, not on negative power. The whole Constitution is a
Can't whistle either.
model of positive power. How do you set up a
And I have a
governmental
hummingbird.
system that holds the country together while at the same time nurtures
Hummingbird.
individual liberty? Positive power, and again, I'll get into this more tomorrow because we're not going to have enough time today, is it starts from an altogether different premise than negative power. It starts from the belief that God is the sovereign. Your country started this way. Read the Declaration. And through God, his children, you, the individual and the people, you're the sovereign of our society. Not a handful of people, not some governmental contraption, you. So power properly understood and exercised in the context of government is about the well-being of the people, not the rulers. The people are the sovereign, not the governing authority. And importantly, the belief in God-given eternal rights, natural law, unalienable rights, those words are in your Declaration of Independence. That's the basis of a moral and virtuous society that transcends any ruling class.
Again, I'll deal with this more tomorrow, but it is in my new book on power. And it's totally relevant. These are the two forces, not the oppressed versus the oppressor. That's Marxism. It's we the people versus the ruling class.
I haven't eaten since the
complicated
BLTs. I
by
haven't
the
had
framers of
anything to
your
eat since then.
Constitution, I call that positive power.
Brunch.
That would be one thing, but they're not.
I
They're
basically
constantly
eat
looking for
like
ways,
maybe
whether
twice a
through
day
rogue,
and
unelected
might
federal
snack.
district judges, through open borders to change the demographics, change the citizenry, to change the vote, changing the voting system to empower one political party against another, trying to find ways to silence open and free speech when open and free speech is absolutely necessary, including during a pandemic. This is what we're up against, this negative power. And, it's sad to say, don't shoot the messenger here, but the trajectory, whether it's in our country with respites like Ronald Reagan and Donald Trump, but the trajectory in Europe for sure is in the wrong direction. That is, negative power is devouring positive power. That's what's happening. Positive power, one's approach to life and role in society more involves practices and decisions and values and beliefs that together form one's life philosophy. That results from learned, cognitive, reactionary, experiential, or even instinctive thought processes. And significantly, faith. Now, that doesn't mean everybody has a faith or believes in religion or even believes in God. But that's what our society was established on, whether they believe it or not. And they get the benefit from the society that is established that way, whether they want to believe in these things or not. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news. Making sense of the headlines. Making sense of your world. WMAL's Vince Colonnese.
Thank you for all you do on the radio show.
What a nice call. Thank you very much.
Weekdays noon to 3. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
Hi, I'm Jamie McMurray, professional race car driver here with cab driver Artie.
Professional cab driver.
Sorry, professional cab driver Artie. Drinking responsibly is knowing your limits. If you are over yours, ask Artie or someone like Artie to get you home safely. To learn more about drinking responsibly, go to beforeyoudrink.org.
So, you think I could take your number 26 Crown Royal race car for a spin?
Did you get out of there?
Be a champion. Drink responsibly. This message has been brought to you by the Century Council.
School absences are often due to the absence of necessary resources. But when Communities in Schools is present, students are connected to the support they need to show up ready to learn. Visit communitiesinschools.org. Being present matters.
Every time I feel my baby kick, I sing. You don't understand. I never sing. I'm not good at singing. I'm the only person I know who's been booed off a karaoke stage. But that was before I was pregnant. Today, I'm a singer with a captive audience of one. She doesn't boo me. She never will. We know how it feels. We're the March of Dimes. Find out how we can help you have a healthier baby at marchofdimesbaby.org.
This is my new best friend, Esther. She might look like any normal, playful puppy, but Esther's being raised to become a canine companions for independence assistance dog for a person with a disability. To get there, she needs lots of loving care and attention, plenty of exercise, and good eating habits so that she can live a long and healthy life for her future family. Visit cci.org or call 1-800-572-BARK. Raise a puppy, change a life. You can make a world of difference in the life of a person with a disability.
Bravo TV star Lala Kent holds nothing back.
I think the boundaries are getting a little unboundaried, but that's fine.
From relationships
It's grabbing coffee with your friends. That is right up my alley. Right?
to business and beyond.
Where there's history, true friendships, but it's fine. I've also been a rat. I'm obsessed with her. I hate her. Literally the exact same feeling.
Did you really want to party?
You have to have the perfect combination.
Give them Lala. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Around the clock updates and uncommon understanding.
Listen to this, because this stuff is going on behind the scenes and you don't know about it.
News Talk 105.9. Making sense of the news.
Let's see. Something different for dinner. Searching restaurants near me.
Right here, ma'am. How can we help?
Gee, same old, same old.
Wait, we're right here. Ma'am, our restaurant's just a few blocks from you. Why is she not seeing us?
Back to the usual, I guess.
Ma'am, can you not see us?
Nope, they can't see you because you're buried deep in the list of local restaurants. You are invisible online. Introducing Cumulus Boost. Get a boost, get found, get on the map. Learn more at cumulusboost.com.
Hi, I'm Erica, an English major at Hillsdale College. Here's Hillsdale President Dr. Larry Arnn with a Constitution Minute.
The human soul is made to learn, and the highest things of life are the best things to learn. One of these, it turns out, is the way we govern ourselves, and one of the best examples of that is the Constitution of the United States. It explains what our government should look like and how it should function to best protect our rights. It was created to give us the freedom to make choices about the way we wish to live. Unfortunately, most colleges and universities today fail to teach our Constitution. When they do, they often denigrate it. This is dangerous because it is impossible to preserve our liberty if we don't understand where it comes from and how to protect it. Having a proper civics education is essential to preserving our freedom.
To learn more and get a free pocket Constitution, visit constitutionminute.com.
This Constitution Minute was furnished by Hillsdale College.
Making sense of your world.
Thanks for taking my call.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Greatly appreciated.
Making sense of the news.
Tuesday, who was using that auto pen and who was really running the Biden White House? Ed Martin is trying to get to the bottom of that. He'll join us. O'Connor and Company, 5 to 9 a.m. on WMAL.
Show where we honor our fallen heroes on this Memorial Day and every day. You know, summertime is a very expensive time. Where expenses stack up: vacations, gasoline, college tuition, camp, and so forth. A lot of people are forced to swipe credit cards to cover all of it, leaving them trapped in credit card debt, the credit card spiral. Do you regret? Not so much regret. Are you upset? Are you, when you go into the mailbox and you pull the bills out? I hate getting the mail, but there's always bills in there. Well, for homeowners, there's a way out. Not a magic wand, not a scheme, a real plan to reset your finances. American Financing, they know how to build homeowners a plan. Tell it to you. They look at where you are, what you owe, how your home's equity can work smarter for you. You could roll high-interest debt into one simple, manageable plan with a much lower interest rate, tax deductible up to $10,000 without adding any new stress. As a matter of fact, eliminating your stress. There's no upfront fees. There's no pressure. It's real advice from real people. Their customers are saving an average of $800.
Hey, Wolfie, get on fucking cam and show your titties.
That's not Wolfie. That's fake Wolfie.
Who is that then? Wolfie?
That's gotta be Will.
Wolfie, the
I don't know who that is. I know it's not Wolfie.
It's faded.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It is Vader.
I don't know the account. I've never seen it before.
So who's Vader? Like, why is like acid reflux so obsessed with Vader? He's a chutia like you, mother chutia.
I have no clue. You know, I barely pay attention to him anymore.
Acid trip is like fucking you. Like you guys are like the most fucking obsessive bastards on the planet. And you have one of them. Like Billy Hayden spams all day. Fucking. At least he's not log liquor level spam, but he's fucking on repeat. And then acid trip is doing like his obsessions with Vader all day.
Billy spam. Listen to you fucking cry. What's the matter with you?
Show your titties, bitch.
You can't keep up with the chat or what?
He closed the chat. You know, he closed the chat on me when I was still fucking saying things. Or he put me on timeout. I think he put me on timeout, that bastard.
Tessa timed you out, not me.
Fucking Tessa, the man face.
Well, he's not a man.
Tessa's pretty gruff looking, I gotta tell you. Is that even a real person, or is that like a dead person? Like, can you just pick that identity up?
You sound like you're fighting for war.
Hey, you guys, how are you?
Then I'm laying down in bed, bitch.
Is that recent?
Lund. Hey, Lunda. Lunda, baby girl, what are you doing?
God.
Why are you into a middle-aged fucking woman?
She's same age as me. Same
But
exact
if
age.
you get obsessed with like a hot 19 to 25-year-old.
Nah, I'm not interested in younger women. If anything, I want one.
How are you going to find that out here?
What is this chick doing?
He's not going to find that out here.
Where is out here? I don't know, where the fuck is he?
The closest thing he's going to find to that is fucking, what's her name?
Yeah, he's not going to find it on YouTube, but...
Lisa.
The whole fucking, like, act he's putting up, he's acting like he's fucking never seen a woman before.
Has he? Since you seen a woman before, man?
Yeah, I've seen many.
Yeah, on the fucking, like, porn networks.
I have a few of those with Tessa.
See, Tess probably has a monster porn collection because he has access to all this IT gear.
It's all Indian
Tessa?
porn.
Yeah, she definitely has a monster porn collection. She's got
I'm talking about Hitesh.
tons and tons of dick pics.
It's all Indian porn.
She's got dozens of them.
Okay, but let's come fucking through with this shit. All this meandering that you fucking do. Is this even a real person, this Tessa?
Yes, that's a real person.
Fucking museum curator, take us through. Take us through the fucking whole like exhibit again.
Who would be attracted to that? She's really hot.
Like this whole you have her family album and she doesn't even have that.
Looks like a Barbara.
But she knows it. She knows damn well I got that.
Like the real slutty
Barbara. I got
like,
everything.
You pick her after like 2 a.m. After everybody else has left and there's not much.
Yeah, started it wrong. I don't know. Let me see her whole body. Talk about this. There's like, and did you say like Chinchilla that she was like, or he or whatever was fucking somebody? Just don't talk about this.
Say what?
Didn't you say that was like a person? Well, whatever you type, I don't know if I should take it at face value, but whatever I fucking remember you typing in that chat room, you said something about it was a man that could be transitional.
I've said that about a lot of people. I don't know who you're talking about.
You know your own stories.
That's Robin.
Yeah, Robin is a man.
No, but you said Tessa could be this. Like you were suspecting this, like from that person that they could be.
I made a something like that a long time back.
I'm very, very homophobic.
No, she's not trans. She's definitely not trans.
But what is it? Will is Tessa bullshit? What is that all about?
That's just all ignorance. People think it's him, but it's not. I've spoken to her. I've seen her.
You guys create like a fucking convoluted mess, and then you run with it yourselves.
That's her right there. There's no denying.
Like, I don't know if you're doing this to entertain yourselves or just fucking create more havoc, but I guess troll is gonna troll.
No, I'm doing this because I fall in love with her. That's why. Because I didn't know she was.
You're gonna get Tessa's hopes up, dude.
What would you do if you found out Tessa was Will after all this time?
She is a real genius.
No, Will.
Oh no, Will.
Will is Tessa?
It couldn't be because I've spoken to her. I've seen her. That's not Will. I've seen and spoken to both of them in private.
Okay, but have you met them in person with their pants off?
Yeah, did you?
I know who Will is. Will is Hannah.
Will is who?
Jenny. Hannah and Jenny.
Oh, don't bring up that fucking name, will you?
Hitesh, where is Diru Mama?
You spelled her name wrong, Reagan.
Hey, is acid fucking reflex on here, dude?
I've not seen him around. I don't even know if he comes in here.
No, he was in the chat, dude. Isn't he's Lund?
Land means.
Like, why is he obsessed with that guy's picture, dude?
Land means dong in Hindi.
Dong? Yeah, he's got that like a fucking half bald guy or whatever, like on his profile, like. What?
It's 6:20 p.m. on September 8th. 33-year-old Colin Turner is locked in his garage. His wife, Bree Coon, forcibly trapped him inside their own house.
That was fun while it lasted. Not sure who was listening.
Okay. The second fleeing car hit the parked patrol cruiser. The adult suspects face a plethora of theft and traffic charges. And former Culpeper County Sheriff Scott Jenkins will not be reporting to prison tomorrow to serve a 10-year sentence for federal bribery.
President Trump gave Jenkins a full and unconditional pardon, writing on Truth Social that he's, quote, a victim of an overzealous Biden Justice Department and doesn't deserve to spend a single day in jail. Jenkins was found guilty last year of accepting more than $75,000 in cash bribes from multiple Northern Virginia businessmen in exchange for appointing them as auxiliary deputy sheriffs. President Trump says when Jenkins tried to offer exculpatory evidence to support himself, the judge didn't allow it, so he's ending what he calls an unfair sentence. Heather Curtis on WMAL and WMAL.com.
WMAL News Time is 8:04. I'm Sharon Reardon, and now here's your WMAL traffic and weather from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
In Maryland, on 95 southbound, traffic is slow from 212 to the Beltway. Now, for the Beltway in Montgomery County and in Prince George's County, I looked at the cameras. Lanes are clear both on the inner loop and on the out loop. Virginia side of the Beltway, no delays in either direction. On 66 in Fairfax County, you're not hitting the brakes on the eastbound side or on the westbound side. And 95 in Virginia, southbound in Morton, you're going to find it jammed up between Route 1 and 123. And now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Storm Watch 7 forecast.
Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 54. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, high near 74.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke. When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to speak, but their body language will tell you
My toe hurts.
Look for fast. F. Face drooping. A. Arm weakness. S. Speech difficulty. T. Time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you got to hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflush.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe, and then it spread and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflush.com. It was the only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflush.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free, so you have nothing to lose. But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to Crystal Flush. Whatever you do, don't let it
Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. Mark Levin.
Not much going on there.
This is the best of the Mark Levin Show, where we honor our fallen heroes on this Memorial Day and every day. Hello, America. Mark Levin here. Our number, 877-381-3811, 877-381-3811. Well, a lot has happened since I signed off the air last evening. As a matter of fact, it happened minutes after I signed off the air. The execution of two young human beings by a terrorist assassin. And I want to read something to you. I want to read to you the criminal complaint that was filed in the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia. The charges, the charging document, because you're going to learn some information about this case that you didn't know. Christina Hagenbaugh, duly sworn, this arrest warrant complaint. These new iPhones are crazy. All right. Sorry, they're a pain in the you-know-what. I make this affidavit, she writes, in support of a criminal complaint charging Elias Rodriguez with violations of 18 U.S.C. Section 1116, murder of foreign officials, 18 U.S.C. 941J, causing the death of a person through the use of a firearm, 18 U.S.C. 94E 1A triple I, discharge of a firearm during a crime of violence, and D.C. Code Section 22-2001, first-degree murder. And so he's charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. My own view is capital murder should result in capital punishment, but that's just me. The facts set forth in this affidavit, based on information I've obtained from my personal involvement in the investigation and from other law enforcement officers who've been involved in this investigation, on documents that I've reviewed and on my training and experience where I've reported statements made by others, or from documents that I've reviewed. Those statements are reported in substance and in part, unless otherwise indicated. I'm a federal law enforcement officer within the meaning of the federal rules. I'm not going to get into that. Government agent engaged in enforcing the criminal laws, duly authorized by the Attorney General to request a search warrant. I've been a special agent with the Federal Bureau of Investigation since September 2016. And it goes on. Probable cause, I'll skip to that. On May 21, 2025, Rodriguez shot and killed 2 individuals outside 575 3rd Street, Northwest Washington, which is the site of the Capitol Jewish Museum. The museum was hosting an event related to Jewish diplomatic and business relations, hosted by the American Jewish Committee, that aims to, quote, bring together Jewish young professionals in the D.C. diplomatic community. The event was attended by several members of the United States-based Israeli diplomatic mission. On Wednesday, last night, approximately 9:08 p.m., members of the Metropolitan Police Department, 1st District, were dispatched to investigate a shooting at the intersection of 3rd and F Streets, Northwest. Upon the officers arriving at the scene, they observed decedent number 1 and decedent number 2 suffering from gunshot wounds. Decedent number 1, just so you know, they don't mention who she is in the charging document. She's 26 years old, Sarah Milgram, an American citizen. An American citizen. Decedent number 2 is Yaron Lachinsky, 30 years old, an Israeli citizen. A practicing Christian whose father was Christian and mother was Jewish. And they had moved from Germany to Israel. And Sarah Milgram was Jewish, her parents were Jewish, and an American citizen. Well, they do mention her here. I apologize. Decedent number 1, identified as Sarah Milgram, was employed by the Embassy of Israel in Washington. The preliminary review of decedent 1 remains showed that she suffered multiple gunshot wounds to the body. Decedent was transported from the scene by the District of Columbia Fire and Emergency Media Services, Medical Services, to the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner for the District of Columbia. Decedent 1 was pronounced dead at 9:35 p.m. by the medical group under the authority there. The results of the autopsy are still pending. Decedent 2, identified as Yaron Lachinsky, was employed by the Embassy of Israel, was pronounced deceased by members on the scene under the authority of the medical group there at 9:14 p.m. He remained on the scene during the initial processing and until members of the medical team conducted their preliminary investigation of his remains. I mean, these young people were alive a half hour earlier. Decedent number 2 was an Israeli citizen. According to the Department of State, decedent number 2, based on his official visa, was an official guest to the United States government. This is what I want you to hear. Upon arriving at the scene, Metropolitan Police Department Officer 1 canvassed the area for cameras and observed several affixed to the museum. Officer 1 and his partner, Officer 2, entered the building to inquire about the cameras and identify witnesses. Once inside, Rodriguez asked to speak with the officer. Rodriguez then stated that he did it, quote unquote, and that he was unarmed. Rodriguez was taken into custody and identified by Illinois driver's license and firearms owner's identification card, that is an Illinois driver's license, as Elias A. Rodriguez of Chicago. Rodriguez spontaneously stated on scene to the MPD, Metropolitan Police Department, "I did it for Palestine, I did it for Gaza, I am unarmed." Rodriguez was holding a red scarf identified by one witness as a keffiyeh. And MPD officers escorting Rodriguez from the museum, he shouted, "Free, free Palestine." On scene, multiple witnesses were identified and interviewed. Witness number 1 stated that witness number 1 was outside the Jewish Museum sitting in a car when he saw a male, later identified as Rodriguez, wearing a blue hooded raincoat and backpack attempting to light a cigarette in the rain. Witness 1 found the defendant's behavior strange, and it captured witness 1's attention. Prior to shooting, witness 1 saw 4 people walking out of the Jewish Museum, and soon after, witness 1 heard gunshots. Witness 1 ducked down, and after the gunshots eased, looked again. Witness 1 saw that Rodriguez motioning as if he was attempting to shoot the firearm, but it was not firing. Rodriguez then ran away. Witness 1 observed Rodriguez motion with his arm as if he was throwing an object. Witness 1 later explained that police located a firearm in the vicinity of where witness 1 observed Rodriguez throwing his throwing motion. After the Metropolitan Police MPD arrived, witness 1 observed police officers walk Rodriguez out of the museum. Witness 1 commented to the police that the person they had in custody was the same guy. Witness 1 observed during the shooting. However, during a subsequent interview, witness 1 stated witness 1 was 70% certain that Rodriguez was the same person, but witness 1 was certain the backpack and the jacket were what the assailant was in fact wearing. Now here's the intense part. On scene, the Metropolitan Police Department officers were able to review surveillance video from immediately before and during the shooting. They captured the exterior of the museum, so they caught everything on video, everything. In summary, the video shows a slim-built person wearing a blue jacket with a hood, a large, dark-colored backpack, blue pants, and light-colored shoes, consistent with the clothing worn by Rodriguez, walk across F Street Northwest in the direction of the museum, where the decedents were standing, preparing to enter the crosswalk. So these young people, they're done, and they walk out, probably going to walk to their apartment or walk to a cab, whatever. Once Rodriguez walked past the decedents and 2 witnesses, he turned to face their backs. So he walks behind them and then turns toward their backs, brandished a firearm from the area of his waist. Rodriguez is captured on the video extending both of his arms, as you extend them to shoot something, in the direction of the decedents, firing several times. So he shot them in the back, as indicated by the muzzle flashes. Once the decedents fell to the ground, Rodriguez is captured on the video advancing closer to the decedents, leaning over them with his arm extended and firing several more times. They're on the ground, and he shoots them more. As decedent one, this is this 26-year-old young lady, this American citizen. As decedent one attempted to crawl away from Rodriguez, he followed behind her and fired again. After a brief moment, Rodriguez appeared to reload his firearm. At the same time, decedent one, this young girl, sat up. She sat up. Once he reloaded, Rodriguez fired several more times into the decedent, into the girl. Apparently, the young man was dead after he was shot when he hit the ground. But the young lady was crawling away for her life. He shoots her more. He's reloading his pistol. She sits up. He executes her. Rodriguez is then captured jogging back in the direction of 3rd Street Northwest and southbound in the direction of where the entrance to the museum is located. DC Department of Forensic Sciences members responded to the scene. So here's where he goes in. He pretends, he's out of breath, this, that, and the other thing, and so forth and so on, and then he confesses. According to airline records provided by United Airlines, on May 20th, that would be the day before yesterday, he flew from Chicago O'Hare Airport in Illinois to Reagan National Airport in Virginia. Additionally, according to records provided by United, Rodriguez declared and flew with a firearm in his checked bag. Thus, Rodriguez crossed state lines with a firearm. Based on facts described above, there's probable cause. Now, that's interesting. He declared, additionally, according to records provided by the United Airlines, he declared and flew with a firearm in his checked bag. All right, so then he accessed it legally and so forth. That's pretty rough, isn't it, Mr. Producer? She's crawling away, and he keeps shooting her, and then she sits up, and he kills her, executes her. And the young man obviously didn't know what hit him. He shot from behind, you see. More when I return. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you got to hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside.
I'm eating all the
Thousands
cheese
of people are
popcorn
using
out
it
of
to
this.
get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflesh.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe, and then it spread and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflesh.com. It was the only thing that worked.
He says JC has 34 in her chat.
He's now walking around barefoot again.
It's been 10 minutes since anybody even posted.
It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflesh.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free, so you have
Not listening to it because I'm listening to this.
Don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflesh.com.
We are the American Cancer Society making strides against breast cancer. Are you ready to join the #1 breast cancer movement in the country? Sign up today at makingstrideswalk.org.
Former U.S. Navy SEAL Sean Ryan captures real stories about sacrifice and strength.
We go into this hooch searching for Christ knows what.
Regardless if anybody else does it, will you do it? There's a lot of things that are hurtful and disturbing. Don't get everybody to talk about it. Uncovering truth with the heroes who live to tell it.
There's a saying, there's
Caramel popcorn.
That was the hardest part for you coming home. But how'd you get through it?
I worked on
The Sean Ryan Show. You ready for it? All right, let's go. Follow and listen on your favorite platform. Illuminating the issues. There's a whole lot missing here in this story.
Making sense of the news. 75 years of research, 75 years of policy, 75 years of opportunity,
75 years of freedom.
This is 75 years of the Muscular Dystrophy Association. Join us at NBA75.org.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you got to hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalfresh.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe, and then it spread and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalfresh.com. It was the only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores.
There's that bacon that I cooked earlier for breakfast, brunch. I haven't eaten since about 10 o'clock.
Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalfresh.com.
Crispy bacon.
What if being in recovery from a mental or substance use disorder was something you proudly showed the world? Millions of people are in recovery, sharing hope and support with family, friends, and community. Join the Voices for Recovery. For confidential information for mental and substance use disorders, call 1-800-662-HELP. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
When I have an asthma attack, I feel scared. I feel like I'm choking.
Prevent your child's next asthma attack. Visit www.noattacks.org or call your doctor, because even one attack is one too many. Brought to you by the EPA.
Begging strips for dogs
With over 20 years
came out way back in the 80s.
Wounded Warrior Project has helped post 9/11 veterans.
They still sell them.
With no-cost services, legislative advocacy, and more. And we're just getting started. Visit woundedwarriorproject.org/possible. There's no magic to improving your credit, but there is help, and it's free. Go to creditfairy.org. That's creditfairy.org. Brought to you by the Consumer Bankers Foundation, the Leadership Conference on Civil Rights Education Fund.
Have never been more important, and the time period never more filled with potential, but also fraught with peril. As maps are modified and lines are being redrawn, the nation of Israel stands naturally at the center of this ever-changing landscape. Many believe that Israel's enemies are America's enemies, and they're right. Christians United for Israel, one of America's largest pro-Israel organizations with 11 million active members, is leading the charge to help keep Americans on Israel's side. Next month, join thousands of pro-Israel Americans like you and my family at the 20th Annual Christians United for Israel Washington Summit, June 29th through July 1st. While you're there, learn from leading Mideast experts and make your voice heard. Register for the 20th Annual CUFI, Christians United for Israel Washington Summit today at CUFI.org. That's CUFI.org. Make sure you use promo code LEVIN25, LEVIN25. Be part of the grassroots movement that is at the forefront of history.
Making sense of your world. There are a lot of things that really tick me off. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news. WMAL's Vince Colonnades. Weekdays at noon on 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
To the best of Mark Levin, we honor those on Memorial Day who've given their lives to defend this nation. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I've been talking for a long time about the fusion of the Marxists and the Islamists, and we're starting to hear it on Fox by other hosts and guests now. This is why I do what I do. You're hearing about oppressor or oppressed. Before I wrote the book American Marxism during the pandemic 4 years ago, nobody talked about oppressor or oppressed. So we do that too. In fact, nobody would use the word Marxism. They kept using the word socialists or progressives. And I went on TV with American Marxism, and I said, we've got to get our nomenclature correct. So now you hear the Marxism. Now you hear the combination, I think they call it the red-green combination, or the combination of the far left and the Islamists. Yeah, it's Marxism, Islamism, the fusion of the two. That's also in American Marxism. It's also something we've talked about at tremendous length on this program, and we'll continue to do so. I was also the first one to call out Dr. Joe Biden. Now, everybody's asking about Dr. Joe Biden. We're going back to tapes back in 2019 and so forth and so on. I've been talking about Dr. Joe Biden long before that, because she is the number one culprit in the cover-up and what was done to the people of the United States as a result of this election. But who is this subhuman who executed these two young people? Elias Rodriguez, Jerusalem Post. He's been an active member of the Party for Socialism and Liberation, a far-left Marxist pro-Palestinian group. There you go, exactly as I told you. This fusion between the Marxists and the Islamists. He's a native of Chicago. He's 30 years old. He held a red kippah and shouted, "Free, free Palestine." You've seen that? You've seen that? As I roll down here. There's a BA in English from the University of Illinois, Chicago, and this is what's happening in our universities and colleges, thanks to Qatar, thanks to Communist China. He worked as an oral history researcher at the History Makers Digital Archive, and most recently, as a profiles administration specialist at the American Osteopathic Information Association. Yep.
Osteo has to do with your bones.
Campaign in 2020. 2017, he attended a protest in honor of the anniversary of the death of Laquan McDonald, a 17-year-old boy who was fatally shot by a Chicago police officer. I want to go on about this guy because he's a Marxist. We have Marxists in Congress. We have Islamists in Congress. This is why Bernie Sanders hates Israel, hates Netanyahu, hates the government there. That's why he embraces Tlaib, he embraces Omar. There's the two Islamists. They all embrace AOC, who is a Marxist. Stick with me. I know what I'm talking about. We'll be right back.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you got to hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflesh.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe, and then it spread and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone.
Your pick is going in there soon, Wiggin.
Nothing helped. And then we found
you and them fucking missing teeth of yours.
The only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this.
Oh, he's acting tough up on your panel.
It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at
Billy, we need more male streamers. I'll help you get it going.
But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflesh.com.
Do something.
We are the American Cancer Society, making strides against breast cancer. Are you ready to join the #1 breast cancer movement in the country? Sign up today at makingstrideswalk.org.
We're the stronger than we look type. I've had type 1 diabetes since I was 2.
I need a glass of milk.
Type.
I have to take insulin shots every single day.
The type that will stop at nothing.
No more blood sugar tests.
Absolutely nothing. No more complications. Until type 1 becomes type none.
Support JDRF's life-changing research, and one day you'll say, I helped turn type 1 into type none. Join us now at jdrf.org.
While serving in Iraq, our vehicle was hit. They didn't think I was going to make it. I'm LaToya Lucas, and I'm a veteran. I had to learn to live with the scars, both visible and invisible.
DAV helps veterans like LaToya get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year.
My victory is overcoming my wounds so I can help other veterans.
Support more
Milk and a piece of cheesecake with Hershey syrups on it. Strawberry cheesecake at that. Excuse me.
This is what happens when you're Chris Plant, weekdays 9 to noon. Our news media, really. News Talk 105.9 WNAL, making sense of the news.
Hi, I'm David McMurray, professional race car driver here with cab driver Artie. Professional cab driver Artie. Drinking responsibly is knowing your limits. If you are over yours, ask Artie or someone like Artie to get you safe. To learn more about drinking responsibly, go to beforeyoudrink.org. Whoa! Think I could take your number 26 pound boy racing out for a spin? Did you get out of there?
champion. Drink responsibly. This message has been brought to you by the Century Council.
Around the clock updates and uncommon understanding.
Listen to this, because this stuff is going on behind the scenes and you don't know about it.
News Talk 105.9. Making sense of the news.
Knowing after birthday candles should be easy, but if you have undiagnosed COPD, you may find yourself short of breath. Early diagnosis and treatment can add years to your life. If you have symptoms like wheezing or chronic cough, talk to your doctor and visit copdfoundation.org today.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke. When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST, F, face drooping, A, arm weakness, S, speech difficulty, T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day. We're with all service members and their families. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
When you're high, you feel different. But if you feel different, you drive different. So don't drive high. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Making sense of your world.
Greatly appreciated.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
I love listening to you.
Making sense of the news.
This is the best of the Mark Levin Show, where we honor our fallen heroes on this Memorial Day and every day.
Mark Levin on the front line of liberty. Call in now. 877-381-3811.
So let's go into this guy Rodriguez. I've talked to at some great length now over the years about this fusion of Marxism and Islamism. And American Marxism started really discussing about 7 years ago. You see it on the streets, the college protests, the riotous, violent protests. We talked about it all during that period over the years. Now, of course, people say, and if you notice that Marxism, these people really are pathetic. If they would actually think for themselves and read and study these things, rather than wasting time on their weekends and their nights, maybe they'd actually know something rather than regurgitate and plagiarize. He also said that this is Rodriguez, told Liberation magazine in 2017, the wealth that Amazon has brought to Seattle has not been shared with its black residents. Companies whitening of Seattle is structurally racist, this is him, and a direct danger to all workers who live in that city. So do we in Chicago and all across the country want a nation of cities dominated and occupied by massive corporations, where only the rich and white can live, and the vast majority of us must live on edges of the city and society, living in deeper and deeper poverty? Sounds like Bernie Sanders, sounds like AOC when she fought Amazon. So Amazon said, you know what, we're not going to come into your district. On Thursday, this Marxist organization, the PSL, they said that Rodriguez is not a member. He had a brief association with one brand that ended in 2017. We know no contact with him over 7 years. We have nothing to do with the shooting and do not support it. Yes, but it demonstrates his mindset, ladies and gentlemen. Nevertheless, in a picture from April 2025, a person resembling Rodriguez appears to participate in the PSL Chicago Socialist Reconstruction Study Group at the Restored Bookshop in Chicago. Additionally, according to Open Source Intelligence, an X profile, Twitter, has surfaced that seems to belong to Rodriguez. One X user calls the user Elias. The account started to actively publish on X in October 2023, just 2 weeks after October 7th. Posted content, including a video calling to bomb Tel Aviv and words, Happy New Year, death to Israel.
Furthermore, Rodriguez's suspected blue sky profile picture shows the two terrorists who attacked the Jaffa light rail in November 2024. It goes on. So the guy is a real violent Marxist Islamist. That's what he is. Just go up and shoot two people randomly. One apparently died right on the spot, shot them from the back. And then that young lady, 26. That's why they kept hearing the gunfires. You know, you figure one, he said he kept firing and firing because he executed her. Then the initial shot, she crawled away, leaned over her and shot her again. Then he's reloading his pistol and she sits up and kills her. And he also unloaded on the young man who'd been on the ground. So this guy, it's just. Now, Mr. Producer, you have some of the clips from Fox and Friends this morning. How many are there? I don't have it. Well, let's get started. Let's go to the first clip. Go ahead.
Well, my thought is this. I'm not a rabbi and I'm not a diplomat, so I'll call it as I see it. The West is weak. They're weak against this fusion of these Marxists and these Islamists. They're spending hundreds of billions of dollars in our country and throughout Europe. Qatar is number one. Communist China is number two. That's not a mistake. That's not a coincidence. They're trying to destroy us from within. President Trump talks about the enemy within. This is the enemy within. We see it. There's a Kristallnacht taking place in our country every day and throughout Europe every day. Jews are not safe in every capital in Europe, and now they're not safe in our capital. Now, we always are sort of behind Europe in its decline over a period of years. We need to learn and see what's taking place. This isn't about free speech, so the radical libertarians, in the face of this onslaught, would have us commit suicide. This is being funded by Qatar and other countries. There's a funding network. There are more Islamist front groups in this country, terrorist front groups in this country. They multiply like rabbits. Congress is not doing enough to stop this. I know the administration is doing yeoman's work, unlike the prior administration. This is what happens when you have open borders and unfettered and unvetted immigration, particularly from the Middle East. Our courts are not capable by ideological and administrative processes to deal with. In fact, they are obstructing efforts by this administration to deport the enemy, and they are the enemy. They're not an adversary. They're not a bunch of punks just with big mouths. They're marching through the streets like no Nazis ever had, like no Klansmen ever have in our country, calling for the destruction of the United States of America, the overthrow of the West, burning the American flag, chasing Jewish students on college campuses, threatening elderly Jews who hold signs on the streets peacefully, attacking our synagogues. Now, I say this to my fellow Americans. Is this what we want? Is this who we are? Because the ruling class is letting us down. Seal the damn borders, which is what President Trump is doing. Stop every damn penny coming into this country from these terrorist states. I don't care if they put smiles on their faces and hold seminars or whatever the hell they're doing. They're the enemy. They're the enemy. They funded 9/11. 9/11 wasn't even about Jews or Israel. It's about us. They killed over 2,000 of our people. Let the Israelis win their war against Hamas. Stop holding them back. They killed over 1,200 of their people in the most heinous ways, so horrific that the videos haven't been released on any single cable or network television show. That's how horrible it is. If you want to act like a subhuman, you need to be treated like a subhuman. These terrorist organizations, they don't think like we do. They don't think like the West. They see weakness because there is weakness. They've all but destroyed our Ivy League schools, and they're working now in K through 12. What are we going to do? Yell the First Amendment? Free speech? What are we going to do? Allow them to keep pouring money into our country, buying sporting events, buying politicians, buying businesses, and then pretend when they put smiles on their faces and they're driving around in their Mercedes-Benz that they aren't the terrorists that they are? How many more reports have to be published about the amount of money that's being poured into this country by these terrorist states like Qatar, like Iran? We can allow Iran to get a nuclear weapon? The president says no. Isn't it time that the entire nation says no, rather than a debate on whether we can manage a nuclearized Iran. They want to destroy us. They've tried to assassinate our president. How many more signals do they need to send us? What else do they need to do? They are eating away at our country from within. Europe has basically been conquered. We need to put our foot down. These two precious human beings executed in cold blood. Let me tell you something, Brian. In 3 days, we'll be on to the next subject. Nobody even think about them again. They took hostages. They raped them. They murdered them. They starved them. They tortured them. They executed them. They're still in, 20 of them, in tunnels in Gaza. And the Israelis are being told to back off.
Oh, save Palestine.
Hamas lied to turn the world against the Jews in Israel and against the United States to affect public opinion. The same American media that lied about Biden lie about these terrorist regimes and what's taking place in Gaza. And our Congress, the Bernie Sanders, the Khalid, the Omars, the AOC, they have a lot to answer for with this Marxist Islamist crap. And the fact of the matter is, they boycott the leader of Israel, Netanyahu, because they hate Israel. They say, oh, we don't mind Israel. Zionism we oppose. Zionism is the establishment of the state of Israel. It's the only indigenous people on the face of the earth that are now allowed to be indigenous. So we have to have a discussion in this country, but I'm not a rabbi and I'm not a diplomat. So I'll pray and I'll talk, but it's time for action.
Were there more clips you said, Rich? Let's go to the next one, please. Go ahead.
I do find there's a little ignorance when it comes to some of the people that are in the middle of the street, too. They're getting away with it because they say free Palestine. But now you have the person that committed this act saying free Palestine as well. But they've been marching in the middle of the street with Hamas flags. They have been denying October the 7th the whole time. And people think they're just dumb kids. We got a report that's from the hostages that were released that they were communicating with the college campuses. It's like a sleeper cell that's right in front of us, and we don't seem to be paying attention to it.
That is brilliantly put. And like this guy, Khalil, isn't it funny the Democrats are defending him? Every disgusting reprobate. They circle the wagons to defend them. The Constitution that they've trashed and attacked. The framers who wrote it, they attacked and trashed. Now they wave it around like there's some First Amendment right to be a mouthpiece and a leader for a front group that seeks to overthrow our colleges and destroy our learning. The West is under attack. This is a war against the West. People need to understand the mentality that we're up against, whether it's the Marxists or the Islamists. They have a joint venture to take out Europe and now the United States from within. Just as Reagan destroyed the Soviet Union without firing a shot, they intend to destroy the United States without firing a shot. They're doing a hell of a good job of it. Look at the rot in our colleges and universities. We scream about the First Amendment and free speech. We don't even have academic freedom. The faculty hires the faculty. They hire people of the same ideology, the same mentality. We're brainwashing our children. We taxpayers are paying for this. We parents are paying the tuition for this. We have a say in this. This isn't about free speech. This isn't about civil liberty. This is about whether we survive as a free nation. And it is happening now. Donald Trump is fighting it as best as he can. The Democrats are basically the umbrella for all these reprobates and malcontents and so forth and so on. They have them within their own midst. And we have some, I don't even say we, they're not Republicans, some of these phony isolationists who have their own platforms and so forth out there. Israel's going to drag us into a war. We're in a damn war. Don't you understand? They're in our country right now. They want to kill us. They want to take down our towers. They're destroying our universities. It's not a matter of Israel dragging anybody into anything. This is a war on London. It's a war on Paris. It's a war on Amsterdam. It's a war on Washington and New York. And it's happening in front of us right now. Whether the media wants to report it fully or not, it is taking place right now.
And we'll have a little more when we return. I'll be right back.
Mud Lovin'. News Talk 105.9 WMA.
The fuck? I'll give it a few minutes and then I'm out of here. Anybody wants to come up on the panel, you're welcome to come up there, yellow toe fungus. Yeah. My meter only reads 3, so JC says 34. I'll refresh my page and see what it does. All right, JC says it says 27 now. It's down from 34. And right now, DA is the only one posting. Ain't nobody fucking doing shit. As soon as I end this broadcast, they'll fucking start talking about me again. Wiggin, why are you getting JC to fight your battles for you? Same way, especially you, Alicia. You want to make fun of Billy Hayden, Alicia? I'm going to make fun of you now. You fucking passed around. Just shows how desperate Wiggin is. Hey, you're getting paid. That's all that matters. As long as Alicia gets paid, everybody's happy. So, Wiggin, you don't want to come up and tell me how I'm. What am I undermining? What are you? I don't even know what you're doing. I'm not privy to what you're fucking. I mean, I see what's going on. Talk about JT an awful lot. Rain pisses you off. She did before, right from the start, had to giggle. Yeah, you talk about Rain coming here and crying about you guys being mean to her. Daughter Truth did the same thing. She went to JC. Yeah. JC, can I have a ranch? First thing she did is time me out. It's okay for you to troll people, but nobody control you. Is that the deal out here? Is that what I'm not going to subscribe to that. No. I'm not a conformist. I'm not in love with JC. I don't want to sit on her panel all night with her every day and think that I fucking run the show and all that. You know, initially going in there, it was to rebuttal these people who are fucking just running their mouths out here and fucking causing trouble. JC's one of them. She lies when she says she doesn't have sock accounts. She sits there and she trolls. It's the whole purpose of having her stream. I went live because of COVID. I wanted people who could go anywhere as they got a place to go. You've come up with some fucking strange shit, JC. You really have. Here, let me read your chat. Nothing but DA and Vanguard talking. It's, you know, DA is the only one posting in JC's chat right now. Don't nobody want to talk with that fucking fool. He thinks he's Mr. Comedian shit. Come on in here, DA. DA, come on in here and turn your camera on. Let's see what you look like so I can make fun of you. At least Gotti will come up on the panel. I'm ready for another appearance, Gotti. Where are you? You're about fucking due. I played the thing with, you know, the multi-mock, or not multi-mock, but pitch, and, you know. I watched when Logical was on Caleb's panel. He wouldn't answer Caleb's questions. All Logical could do is complain about the doctor who put the staples in his feet. I'd like to know how you fucking burnt yourself. What the fuck would you do? You must have burnt your pecker. If you burnt your feet, how can you burn your feet and not burn the, from the waist down? Something ain't right. I think he burnt more in his feet. That motherfucker burned his dick too. Call you burn sack. All right. Well, it's been a good Memorial Day. Thanks for everybody that came earlier, my earlier broadcast. I appreciate it. Tom, Doug, Siberian Gal Pal. I'd say it's been a successful day for me. Wiggin will be fucking begging me to come to his chat. He'll go live. So, no, I don't want to sit on JC's panel. What's the sense of having a relationship? So I'm willing to, she wanted me to ask Darren Whitney about what she looked. Darren Whitney see me. He'll tell you what I look like. I'm pretty.